WrestleFriends! WrestleFriends podcast!
Welcome to the WrestleFriends podcast. I'm Dave and I'm here with Mark.
Hi.
And it's a bit of a special show today because we have got our second WrestleFriend with us today, and it is Mark's friend Fraser.
Friend. Hey guys.
Hi, Fraser.
I feel like I should have given that more of a Fraser intro.
Just pretend there's a big round of applause.
So I've known Fraser since we were weans.
We're in Cubs.
Good. I was just about to say Cubs.
Cub Scouts.
Oh man, we're in Cubs together.
I know, we're in Beavers.
Yeah.
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 Dib.
Beavs.
Famous Fraser story. Would you like to tell the world, well, 6 people, and Dave about the Poosage?
Hold on, there's 8 people.
8, yeah, sorry, 9.
We're up.
Well, it might be down one because I'm not going to listen to this. So, you know. But
Fraser doesn't want to listen himself.
Yeah, I'm not very vain. I'm not like Mark who just loves his voice.
Yeah, I didn't like listening to myself.
I used to hate it.
For 3 episodes, and then after that, you're like, pretty cool.
I've never actually listened to one all the way through, ever. Because I get to a certain point, and I guess I'm one of them people we talked about before who hasn't got time to listen to it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a car, I can always listen to it, though.
I like talking about it, just don't like listening.
The main reason why I diverted is because I don't want to tell the story.
Can you tell the story?
Nicely done.
Can you tell the story about the Poosage, please?
It's not very good without all the backstory. Not that there was a backstory.
I would like to hear it.
So shall I tell it?
Tell
it.
It's not a very long story.
Fraser once had a poo, and he reckons that half of it was an entire sausage, and the other half was poo.
It was literally like Two-Face, but from Batman, but a poo.
That's purely amazing. Have you ever seen Ride Along with Carlos and Anderson where they do the pin where you poo?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I think we should start doing that. Pin where you poo.
Work in my house.
Do you never poo anywhere else?
I've had the chance, but I just don't go anywhere.
I love a poo talk, like, I'm not going to lie. When I recently just went to America and Ohio, and my recent fact that I love is that I had a poo in 5 cities within 24 hours.
That is good.
That crossed the Atlantic.
That's mint.
What had you eaten that made you poo 5 times?
Obviously meat, just loads of meat.
Just loads of barbecue, stuff like that.
Yeah, and then when I got home, obviously Greg's.
Is it like man versus food when you go to America and it's like...
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, where we're in Ohio, it was in Columbus, which is the capital, I think, of Ohio, to try and sound clever and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It was literally like one of those massive roads where it's got like 8 lanes, and then there's about 50 places on each side, and every place had a car park. Like, it would be like going to Greg's and having a car park, basically. And you could have anything. Like, and I swear to God, some of the names they've got for things, it's like they're just made up on the spot.
Yeah.
Like, I still just think Steak and Shake is the best name ever.
Steak and Shake, what's that?
Exactly what you think it is.
Right? You should go to America just for the food.
I would love to go to America just for the food. I would like to go around just eateries, you know, in a kind of Adam Richmond style, and just go around.
Oh, that's
I think I could clog my arteries pretty fast in America. Like,
have you ever been to America?
No.
I'd love to go, but I want to do proper America. I don't want to do this Orlando Plastic Fantastic America. I want to do like.
Have you seen
Tennessee.
Dave Gorman?
Yeah.
Dave Gorman's like American.
Is he the driver's dining driver?
No, Dave Gorman's the guy who did the Dave Gorman collection, where he met someone for every card in the pack that has his name.
Right.
But he did a drive around America where he wasn't allowed to go to any chain. It all had to be like mom and pop places. It's really good.
There's a place in, I think it was New York, where it was a hot dog place, but the family fell out, so they split up into 2 hot dog places right next door to each other. You know, it is 2 hot dog shops, and they both got a slightly different chili recipe, and they compete against each other right bang next door. I'd love to go there. That would be cool. And try a hot dog from each place. See what's the difference. Yeah.
Although you could just be like, "Oh, so's the bullshit."
Yeah. So, what were you going to say there?
I was going to ask you what you've been up to this week, Dave.
Oh, I've been off work. It's been fantastic. Just chilling out, drinking on a weeknight. Cool. I went to a train museum yesterday. with my son who likes trains, and he was very excited.
Trains are awesome.
Looking at trains.
Was it Sheldon?
Sheldon, yeah. How do you know? Did you see
I saw
pictures?
a picture.
Yeah, it was good. Not as big as York, but fairly decent.
A good whack of trains.
Fairly good whack of trains, yeah. Of all shapes and sizes. Royal train as well. So you got to see some royal shit.
Nice.
Fraser, what have you been up to this week?
Oh, what haven't I been up to? Nothing, to be honest. Just started playing squash. Trying to get Mark into playing squash.
So
Is that the one where you hit the ball against the wall, but it's not a very bouncy ball?
Yeah. It's basically like for old people. So I'm starting to like feel like I'm retired from sports. I'm trying to take up the oldest sport imaginable.
highest amount of heart attacks per sport in the world. Squash.
Squash.
That's because the average age is 97.
I know
Could
a
be
lad.
why.
I know a lad who was playing squash with someone, and they had a stroke or something, and he was giving them CPR, and they were sick of tuna sandwich in his mouth.
Oh man, you must have been watching women's wrestling.
That didn't take long. Fun fact though, that guy actually still won that match. He recovered from his stroke and got up and won the serve. Boom.
Nice squashiness.
Um,
I don't think I'd enjoy squash because the ball's not bouncy enough, and I find it annoying.
You can get bouncy balls. There's like sometimes when we play it, there's two guys that play next to it who play something that I now know is called short tennis, where they basically just play tennis against the wall with a massive ball in the tennis rackets, and it just sounds like literally people are like hitting each other on repeat.
So is that just a normal tennis ball?
It's like a bouncier, it's like a bigger squash ball from the looks of it.
Nice. That
but
would be more my
It sounds
thing.
like an absolute racket though, because the ball is bigger, so everything hits the wall. It sounds like people are smashing each other.
Squash balls are annoying.
So you play squash with our friend Ben, who is also a WrestleFriends alumni.
He sent us our one and only email.
Oh, a singular email he sent. And if I think the idea is if I start playing as well, or just coming and watching, we'll be called the Squashers.
Yeah, we'll come squashers. Another
T-shirt potential.
another fun fact there. I did actually try to send you an email one time. I didn't tell you because I was invited to come on here, so I thought I'd save the good stuff.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
got
one.
the
Good
juicy
stuff, brother.
for the-
And what it was is I was on the train down to London and I tried to send an email and I had no signal, so it just didn't send. And then I thought, oh, that's rubbish. I'll just not send it. So I would have been the first, but
Nothing's ever
So
too
you
rubbish for
just
this
save it.
podcast.
Yeah, you just save it for talking shit.
Yeah,
I think Ben set a high. It was a good.
it was definitely better than mine.
It was a
Mike.
good.
It was definitely
question.
better.
What was it again? I can't remember.
It was most un-PC gimmicks. We're
Ah,
talking
yeah.
about like the Final Solution and Drunk Hawk and things like
Yeah,
that.
that was cool.
My-
Give
my-
us something to talk about. People should email in more often.
Yeah, you know, you 8 people that listen, send an email.
Lincolns, I'm looking at you.
Well, mine was about one of the questions where you're talking about people potentially making tag teams with each other, like just random people. So yeah, that's what it was about because I had an idea, and I can't remember what it is now.
That might come up later. Oh, we'll just talk about it.
Yeah, it'll probably come to us because it will. It'll definitely come up because it's involving the Velveteen Dream, and I know how much you love that dream.
You're going to be tag teamed on Velveteen Dream.
You
today.
love
I
that
don't like. He's
Yeah,
not
maybe-
my least favourite.
Anyway, I'll keep it.
dreamy substance.
Well, you've been up to Mock.
Yesterday I went to Royal Keys and had a lovely day.
Did you go to Extreme Bounds?
I didn't. I saw it. It was weird.
It's like a big
big
slug,
bubble.
isn't
Yeah, big outside
Big
slug.
white slug.
I went to the Royal Keys Aquatics and I looked at the crabs and the lobsters and newts and dreamed about having them in a big tank that I'm never going to be allowed to have. And then I went to Thornton's and they have really good deals and you buy a cake and you get a coffee and you get chocolate as well. So for a £5 we got 2 coffees, 2 cakes and a pile of chocolate for a £5 and Lucas was asleep so we don't have to give him any.
I got cake and a coffee deal yesterday at the Railway Museum as well.
What was the price?
It was like £2 for cake and a coffee.
This is a bit like when we talked about biscuits for ages.
you are such dads.
It's funny.
I know.
It's funny. I've actually
cake and a coffee.
one of my wrestle thoughts today is actually about food, so I think we should just leave it.
Save the good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've also been off as well because we have the same job.
It's nice.
Except
to be
you
off.
get to be outside more.
What?
You get to be outside more.
I do, don't
Your
I?
bit of your job.
Yeah, I do.
But I wouldn't like being outside.
We don't really cross paths, do we?
No, we don't
Very
cross
often.
the streams.
It's probably for the best. Otherwise, you have nothing to talk about in here, would you?
Well, there's a Wrestle Ford ban when we do see each other. We're not allowed to talk about it.
There's a conspiracy that at our place of work that we've been separated because no work was being getting done.
I can imagine.
I can see why.
We had to be separated in the Cub days, so I can imagine.
Why do
in
I
a
always have
group-
to be separated from people?
It's because you're a
Maybe
bad influence.
I just think people think you're better off on your own.
We were separated in Cubs just for talking about. We're making fun of Barry, who did his shit in the woods, and then just on the floor.
Scoop Barry, he was named.
Poop
And then,
Scoop
and then he
Barry,
was
that's
made to
good.
pick it up.
Yeah.
My phone always starts ringing like as we start podcasting.
It's because
properly annoying, isn't it?
it's because your wife won't leave you alone.
We've done like half an hour worth of tinkering and half an hour worth of weeing, and now my phone's going off.
She's probably asking where pajamas are.
Probably. I'm not going to answer it.
Another fun fact, though, just to let you know, Dave's bladder is the worst bladder in the world.
So
How
we've
many
been here for an hour and you've had 4 wees.
Yeah, but I've also had 4 cups of coffee. Rather large, big cups
So would
of
you
coffee.
say 1 coffee, 1 way? That's the ratio we're going for.
I'm worse when I've had a beer, so if I have a couple of bottles of beer, that's me up and down all night.
Oh my god.
We're changing venue today.
It's lovely,
Fraser's
isn't it?
very kindly lent us his studio
Yeah, good times.
to
like
record it. Me and Dave are sitting in a settee.
Yeah.
It's fucking mint.
We've never sat on a sofa doing this before. have we?
No.
Never. It's a
brilliant.
luxury.
Gives a nice homely feel to it, doesn't it?
I like the whole setup. I think it's really cool.
Dave,
Yeah.
do you want to start with your wrestle thoughts?
No,
Why?
because I've done a map.
Ah,
He's done,
Dave, it's been a while since we've done a map.
full on map.
My wrestle thoughts.
Mark's wrestle thoughts because I like to get them out like over and done with because it takes so long.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So
yeah.
we're gonna. I've got.
Get
I'm
ready
doing-
for a snooze.
This is my sandwich break.
I'm not happy about this. There's two people. Do you know that we once went to a gig with me wife, me and Fraser?
Right. What was the band?
It was City and Colour.
Right.
And Amanda and Fraser decided to ostracize us and ignore us for the full night.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't the full night. It was just about halfway through.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was funny.
It
That
was.
is
It was.
funny.
It was funny, and he denies it. But he went to his
I didn't say this.
before it was Amanda was his wife. He said, Amanda, will you be my friend again? Can I be in your friendship group?
I didn't say
Exact words. And you can ask Amanda. Will you be in my friendship
Is this
group?
before you asked her out?
No, this is
No,
only
no,
a few
no,
years.
no.
We'd been together for like
full on
7 years
dating.
or something.
Full on dates.
You wanted her to be in your friendship group?
Because they had ignored us.
'Cause
but I didn't say it like that. Fraser's
no,
made up
d-
how I said it.
we could
not-
ignore
I think
you
I
as
said
well,
something
like-
like, "Yeah, can you just stop being dicks now?"
We could
he's
probably
not that cool, everyone.
we could
Sorry.
try ignoring you and stuff today, but it wouldn't really work for the podcast.
All it would be is
Oh,
me
it would
quietly
definitely work.
reading out things about NXT.
Whilst we talk about something
Oh,
else.
hang on, no, you should be ignoring me.
Yeah,
You-
I definitely work because I mean, if you think like it was exactly the same except from Dallas Green was on stage, so we just need him to come
Sounds
in.
like a cool night.
Well,
Have
actually,
have you heard City and Colour?
Nah.
They're good.
you hadn't
I've heard of.
Well, yeah, you hadn't listened to loads of City and Colour before, but you like them. And another fun fact, I'm full of it today.
You are.
Is the Mark and Amanda's wedding song was actually a City and Colour song.
It was.
Was it?
And it's one of my favourite songs. So, and it was
This
a very
is why-
good song to choose.
This is why it becomes more humorous that I've not asked Fraser for help with the podcast before, since it's like we're such long-term friends.
You would have thought you would have brought it up.
I help him a lot in general life because he's just not a great person.
It's true. It's true.
And
Can't argue
he
with
probably,
that.
he probably hasn't wanted us on the podcast as well, is because I can quite easily have his life because he's
You've
rubbish.
been
He's
quite
rubbish.
reserved so far.
Yeah,
though.
I've been. I mean, it's only 10 minutes in, so I haven't got your thoughts
Between
yet,
like
so.
me wife, obviously, like yourself, Ben, Nicolai's pretty much keep us like
Human.
alive.
Live functioning.
He's like one of those people that, like, if he travelled somewhere abroad by himself, you'd
No, I'd
really
be
worry
fine.
About him. You know, you would worry about him. I mean, you'd think he says fine,
no,
but you'd
hang on.
worry about him.
The-
When we went to
this is a bit of-
Wolverhampton, he wouldn't
Yeah,
have got
actually.
home if it hadn't have been for my shoes. So that would have he would have been like flopped over and
I've
put
never
us
been,
somewhere.
and this might be a lie. Am I going to say this? Yeah, this is true.
Don't
So
say God.
I've probably known Fraser for about
Don't
20
worry.
years.
Uh-huh.
I've probably not been as drunk in front of Fraser as I was in front of you in Wolverhampton.
It was
It was really bad.
it was interesting.
The thing is as well, there's
The,
another...
the next morning was more interesting.
Oh, it was the Gremlin.
Yes. What's
He made
that
it-
all
he
about?
made it the name. Is it you?
I come up with a lot of names in the friendship group that we have.
I've never ever heard.
I'm not allowed in.
He's not allowed in because he makes horrible noises.
It was bad.
He's just generally like a rubbish person.
I think it's because of dadness. I
Dadness.
forgot how to drink properly.
That does happen. I remember the first time I went out after Leo was born. I got horrendously drunk and forgot where I lived. I ended up back at my parents' house, knocking on the door in the middle of the night, thinking I still lived there.
Well, that's fine. You could have a kip there.
No, they didn't answer the door.
Huh.
And I'd used all my
Do you
money
not
for
still have the
this, yeah.
key?
Nah.
I still have a key from my parents' house.
I don't even think I had one when I lived there.
What
I've lost
happens
it
if
that
I-
many times.
We're allowed one.
What happens if I want to steal food? Or like,
Nah. You got any wrestle thoughts?
I've got a lot.
Because we know there's going to be a lot, so we
So
might as
I've
well
made
stop
it.
talking.
I've made a decision. I've got 4 episodes of NXT. That wasn't a very nice noise about my thoughts. Hang on. Oh, wrestle thoughts. Oh, my wrestle thoughts are long.
Was that
Hang
New
to-
Kids on the
hang-
Block?
hang tough.
Nice.
MKB.
So I'm gonna do. I've got 4 NXTs to do. I'm gonna do 2, and then I'm gonna do a solo episode just to see what happens.
Fuck you.
Because I've got and mainly because I've got a USB microphone that I want to use.
Where'd you get that?
Nerd.
I got it off Amazon.
Nerd.
You hate that, don't you?
Nerd.
Fraser
I'm not-
came up with a very good thing off air that we should start saying brother more. We are good brothers. I think we should
So I
start saying that. No?
think that you and Fraser are definitely the type of people that would say brother. I don't think I am.
We could get you into it, though, brother.
Like louder folks say brother,
Jiggle.
quieter folks don't.
Jiggle, 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 jiggle.
Brother.
Why are you doing that?
I'm just trying to get you off your
Right,
path.
I'm gonna do some thoughts. Right. NXT 413 occurred on the 27th of September 2017. So,
Wow.
match number 1 was Lars Sullivan versus Only Walking. Just before I started
Only
off,
Walking.
I'd like to ask Fraser what he thinks of good old Lars.
He's all right. He's an ugly son of a bitch, but
Do you think he could be the next Lesnar?
no, I don't think he's. I think Lesnar looks cooler than him. I think which helps with Lesnar. I think Lars is good, but I don't think he looks very cool. He looks a bit of an ogre to me.
He is ogreish.
Because if you look at Strowman, like Strowman's got a very similar look. He's kind of a big guy.
He's bigger again though, isn't he?
Yeah, whereas Lars kind of almost looks a bit like hunchbacky.
Whereas I think like Strowman's your monster. Lars is like that middle size where he's like a monster but like someone who can work an actual
He's more of a
match.
like psycho sort of like mental person, isn't it? Like,
He could be a
split
kid kind of
personality.
guy, put a mask on his face, and then you'd be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it'd have been good.
The commentators have started saying that like, oh, he's dead clever as well as being a beast. That's going to be the new thing. He's like a clever beast.
He's definitely not clever. Like,
Clever beast.
Yeah, he's like in his promo he used like long words.
oh, he did, didn't he?
That's
Oh,
the
I
thing.
switched
I don't
That's gonna
remember.
it's gonna be a thing.
I switched
Clever
off.
beast.
The clever beast. Like not only can he destroy his opponents, but he can.
But he can
Fucking say
dazzle
words.
you with words.
We'll have to get him on for a wrestle poem.
Oh, I'd love Lars on.
I love any. Like
You know what? I know I've said it before, but his theme music's class.
Nah,
He's a podcast favourite. I quite
Yes,
like Lars.
I do like him, but I don't think he'll be a Lesnar.
I think they need to do a lot of work with him though. I think before he goes on the main roster.
Well, that's the
it's
thing.
sort of like,
Lars could be on NXT for 2 years.
Yep.
He's only 30 as well.
I think they need to have him for that long time.
I think they do. They've got so many people. I think that they probably can't not have him on there for a while. So
Lars Sullivan versus Only Walking.
Only walking.
Only Walking. Logan
That's the
knocked
thing now. It's funny, isn't it?
he could be a new Gilbert.
Only Walking. Logan knocked Lars off the apron, then suicide dives over the top rope. He is caught easily and driven in the apron. Logan hits Lars with his best offense, like his running European uppercut, which is no sold. Lars wins with the Beast of a Lariat and chokeslam finisher.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's one thing. I don't like his finisher.
They're like half chokeslam.
Yeah, I
thing.
think
Chokeslam.
it's like a
Lazy.
I think it's like a crap choke slam. Like
It
it just
smacks
doesn't look
of
like it hurts
somebody-
as much.
who's been training and doesn't know that many moves yet.
Yeah, I like his
As much as we
Probably
like
has,
him.
but like we say, there's a lot of work to be done with it.
I think his clothesline looked much more effective than his actual finisher, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because he's that big, and it's like the punch from the Big Show. It looks more than actually a body slam or whatever.
He could do
Less
like
is
a
more.
really cool sort of like a power bomb finisher, you know, like a last ride sort of thing. I think that would work really well with him.
Yeah, Lars, change your finisher.
Yeah.
Stupid idiot.
Do something with his hunchback. That would be good.
Well, like a back flip thing.
He doesn't really have a hunchback.
He doesn't. I'm just painting him in the bad light. Sorry.
You actually painting him as an ogre?
I
Sorry,
feel
Lars.
Fraser doesn't like Lars as much as we do.
Nah.
I think it's quite.
Each
I
to
think
their
it's-
own.
I don't even think.
I
Lars-
think we get like obsessed with somebody and then
Yeah, you
that's
do.
it.
And then we'll have to leave it for a bit until. Yeah.
I don't
I
even
agree.
think Lars's mum likes him as much as you do. So
Yeah.
I
possibly
think he
not.
needs something on his tights.
if he has a mum, I don't know. He's
I don't
an
think
ogre.
I think he was born.
I think he was
in
born
a
out
cave.
of slime.
Yeah, like
slime.
like
He,
Godzilla.
he like evolved.
I think he just came from the ocean one day and just like Godzilla, and all like Gojira, Sholavan.
So we're 20 minutes in, and that's the best Japanese accent.
And it wasn't new for a change.
It's always Japanese, isn't it?
Hey, to be fair, that was a good impression.
Can you do it? Hello, I am a Shinsuke.
Oh, I like Shinsuke. I'm not messing with Shinsuke. I can mess with Lars, but I'm not messing with Shinsuke.
Is there any Japanese wrestlers that you are willing to do in Japanese? Hello, I am Hideo Itami. Respect me.
What about Funaki?
Oh.
Funaki!
I can't even remember what they sound like. To be honest, it was so long ago.
You could do an impression of the Chinese commentator Mong Ai.
Is that real now?
That's a
That's
real
a
thing.
real
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is the best thing ever.
I think I talked about it on the episode we haven't released yet.
Mongai, we do.
Mongai. Well, I'm talking about it again 'cause
Yeah.
it's funny.
NXT
so
next year.
I thought it was Sullivan's best match to date because Lorcan's so good. A perfect example of a squash that doesn't make the other guy look weak. I thought Lorcan still looked
Did
decent.
Thingy come down at the end of that match?
Burchell came,
Yeah.
Burchell came down and
They're
like
going to make
took
a
him
tag
out.
team out of them, aren't they?
In his
Danny
tracksuit.
Birch.
In his tight tracksuit.
In a bald-headed tag team.
I don't like Danny Birch as much as I like Only Walker.
Is that because he looks more normal than only whatever he's called?
Only one.
I think Only Walker's a better wrestler.
Oh, he's definitely.
Um,
I think he sells those European uppercuts really
Running
well.
one's class.
Yeah.
I
That's
think-
why I was a little bit annoyed that Sullivan no-sold them because it's one of my favourite moves to watch.
Do you
on
not think
NXT.
they'll work better as a tag team though? Because going forward, because Only Walking is a little sort of like baldy, not really much about him kind of guy. I don't think he's got much of a future.
Of course he's got...
The crowd love him, so.
He walks with his arm in the air and you
Uh-huh.
can do it on trains when you're drunk. He's got loads about him.
I think the crowd love him as well, though, because he's so basic. Like,
But can
literally
you
just
see him
goes in.
working on
he
main
works,
roster?
No, but he
No.
works in NXT because it's people
little
like me
crowd.
who are like, oh, I love that
Yeah,
match.
I don't think he's-
The
I don't-
person doesn't need to be like interested in the match was mint.
I don't even think he needs to go on the main roster. I think like that's
Do you think it should be NXT?
That's what
We've
I'm-
talked about this before. There
he's
should be
the
NXT
kind of guy-
exclusive
Well,
guy.
this is going to be one of my thoughts later on, so I'll not go too much into it. But I just think like NXT gets looked at as the underbrand, and I think it's a completely different brand. I think NXT should have people that never go up because it's good enough itself.
Or people like Dolph who come down.
Yeah,
Dolph and
I
NXT would be
really
class.
agree that I think people could come down because I think like
But not-
Dolph would be amazing
And
on
it's,
NXT.
and it's different words like not coming down but just moving
Yeah.
somewhere
It's
else.
gonna-
It's
It
gonna
could
come
be
a
even a
point where
promotion
it's
to some
surely
people.
going to have to happen.
Yeah.
It could be a promotion to some people because some people just can't make the main roster work because there's just too many people in the crowd and there's too many people in the roster. I think like NXT's
So
perfect.
Dolph has class matches with everybody's first match. So it's like Nakamura's first match, Rude's first match. Like having him in the PC all week, like working out with the guys and then like
I
wrestling.
think it was nice that they give him the win over Bobby Roode on SmackDown.
Yeah, they're making it like an
Yeah.
equal feud. But they always do that. He always nicks a win in a feud and then loses the...
Yeah.
But it's not like
The payoff.
he hasn't done like the big win in a while, though, has he? It's always like a little roll up or something. It's never he hasn't won like an actual
Super
out and out
kick-out.
match. Yeah, he hasn't won
Zigzag.
a proper win in like a year or something.
Loads of
Ever
people
since
are
he won the Intercontinental Championship ages ago, that must have been his last big win.
when the one where he said he was going to retire if he didn't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Loads of people are shitting on the gimmick where he comes with like no music and stuff, but I quite like it.
I think it's quite funny.
I've wanted someone to do that for a long time, just to have no music.
Don't need it.
Because I think it's so much
You're going to
cooler.
have to get on with your thoughts because I might need the toilet again soon.
So next match was Heavy Machinery versus jobbers.
Ooh, heavy machinery.
Did the table just arise there?
I like heavy machinery. Everybody
Really
knows.
joke.
Stakes and weights. I think it would be a nice slogan for a t-shirt, which is what the commentators are saying when they come out.
Probably will be a thing.
Do you think I'm going to get a t-shirt saying stakes and weights? Obviously, if they release a t-shirt, I'm just going to buy it straight away, whatever it is. But like stakes and weights, like it would look funny if I was wearing it.
It'd look funny if you were wearing it. Yeah.
It'd look funny if you were wearing it.
I think any t-shirt that Jago wears would look hilarious.
Did you get your
What?
gender one?
Nah, I didn't end up getting it.
Good.
Because he still shops at Baby Gap. He
I'm
still
good.
wears size small t-shirts. even
No,
though
I
he's a grown
don't.
man.
This is a medium.
Oh wow, seriously. He's 6 foot and you wear a medium, mate.
Well, because I'm not. I'm a slighter 6 foot.
Slender dude. Brother.
I'm one of them people that's like
So slight,
skinny
bro.
but fat. Like I'm skinny but I've got a little punch.
Skinny fat.
Skinny fat.
He's
Thoughts?
bragging,
Come on,
skinny
thoughts.
Right.
fat. See, this is
You
why
always have a go at my thoughts being too like.
this is why you
clinical.
shouldn't have invited
Sorry.
me.
And I'm worried about my bladder.
Well, I don't care about your bladder. You've got to wait for at least another 45 minutes.
That's fine. I'm not needing one yet. I'm just looking to the future.
It's just preempting.
They win with in a quick squash with the compactor double splash. Commentary talked again about them having a title shot. They need to win more competitive matches as they've only had one, which they lost to AOP. So like it's all squash matches. They've
Yeah.
never had like a match against a good team that they've actually beat. So I think they need to do that before they go on title matches.
Yeah, they need to stick them in a feud with someone. Who would you have them feud against?
I'd like to see them against TM61. I want them to come back.
When they must be due
Are they
back.
still going?
Well, Shane Thorne did his ACL.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to have them back.
That poor partner, man. He's just sitting there, just being like, I'm
It's
fine.
the same with the revival, though. They're like,
Yeah.
Well, he was on.
one of them's always injured.
Yeah. But if they
Dash
changed
Wilder
that,
got
man.
squashed on main event.
Did he? Who off?
Who watches main event?
I've seen that for years.
That's why no one talks
Still
about
a thing.
I can't remember. But
He got squashed?
He got squashed.
I
on
hope
main
they
event.
don't, like, you know, when they come back, I hope they don't, like,
They'll not be
Nah.
jobbers when
They
they
need
come
to give
back.
them a chance.
They're really respected, aren't they? Like,
See ya. Him damn night.
I love the revival, brother.
yeah, brother.
I'm not saying brother.
Say brother.
Jacob.
Brother.
Broskies.
I'm definitely not saying
Woo
that.
woo woo.
So next, Roderick was interviewed at the PC.
Yawn.
He is asked how he's preparing for his upcoming NXT
Giving his
match.
family a cuddle, probably.
How's he?
Guess who he mentions?
His family.
So the last promo he didn't mention his family, and I was a bit disappointed. So he says he trains hard for his family and himself. He also that he is the guy that keeps getting back up and moving forward.
I hope his girlfriend leaves him. I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it.
I think she's quite hot.
She is. She thought he's definitely punching.
I can't remember.
She's one of the 4 horse. Not
Women.
4. Yeah, 4 horse. Is it the 4 horsewomen? No, it's what are they called? The
You call women horses?
MMA 4. Like
yeah,
Ronda
you've got the
Rousey.
4 horsewomen
Oh,
at
got
MMA,
you,
and you've got
got
the
you,
4
got you.
Yeah, so
horsewomen.
she's in the 4 horsewomen of MMA with
Right.
Ronda Rousey.
Is she?
Yeah. So
That's badass, that.
he continues with, I've worked my whole life and battled hard. So
Yeah.
it was a standard boring Roddy promo.
Yeah, I hope she leaves him just so that you can't say that anymore.
They could do a gimmick where he's like boring 80s heel, no, boring 80s babyface Roderick Strong, and he just says things like that, but it's actually a gimmick, so it's funny.
They were going to do that thing, weren't they? Because after the Drew McIntyre match, I think it was, where Undisputed Era, what they call? Undisputed Era
Era.
came out and they were like nodding at him as if to say, yo man, yeah, brother.
Gonna be with us.
You're gonna be,
Do you wanna stop being
do you want-
shit?
Do you want to be our friend? Sort
Brother,
of thing. I wonder if they're going to go that way with him.
Well, jumping far, very, very far. It's not very good English.
Stomachs.
Jumping into the future. So the War Games match is AOP and Roddy Strong versus Sanity versus the Undisputed Era. So maybe he'll join the Undisputed Era and
cheeky heel turn.
and do a like that would make him
That
good.
Yeah, because then he's got Adam Cole, baby, to make him look better.
He came in as a heel, didn't he?
Roddy didn't know.
He came.
I thought
He was
did
in a
with
tag.
Austin
wait,
Aries. He was
in
his
a-
tag team
what-
partner.
Yeah, he was
for
his
the-
tag team
But
at first.
Aries
Classic.
wasn't. Aries was a face at the time.
Was he?
It was when he was wrestling Baron Corbin. He was a face.
Do you know the reason? Like, do you know how it's like obviously really boring every time he talks about his family, and that's
It's
pretty
not.
much why everyone
It
gets
is
annoyed.
boring, but it's funny, so it's not boring.
The reason why I get annoyed is because he doesn't take it anywhere. He's like, clearly got no like banter to take it anywhere. Like with Heath Slater. Heath Slater was like literally talking about his kids. Like, now how many kids t-shirts does he sell? Like, I've got kids.
It's not.
Like,
he's not doing it in that way.
That
though.
was
Do you
done
know-
in a funny way, whereas he's doing this in a like I've got to take a serious way,
Yeah.
which is like shit.
It's the kind of
yeah,
shtick.
it's like EastEnders, isn't it?
It's the
You know,
kind
like-
of shtick that worked for a babyface in 1989, not like 2017.
Drink your milk and look after your family.
yeah, like Captain America kind of
Don't
thing.
touch anyone's privates.
We could do that actually. Could be like a Captain America guy, just put a mask on him, and I don't know why
He
keep
looks
asking
a bit
masks
like
on everyone.
Captain-
Shield.
That's the thing to do.
So like,
Give masks.
our thing is always turn
Turn
them
him heel.
heel. Always like, what was the other one? What's your other one?
Send him to the Bullet Club.
Send them to the Bullet Club. Yours could be stick a mask on it.
Yeah, it's like the new put a dunk on it, isn't it? Put a mask
put,
on
a
a,
it,
mask
put,
on
put a
it.
dunk on it,
brother.
brother.
Yeah, we have done, Roddy. So after that, Liv Morgan had a match. She is awful. That's Dave sandwiched.
Today's sandwich break is sponsored by Greg's the Bakers.
You'll be into this because I'm talking about how shit she is.
No,
She
cool.
botched every move. Needs to spend more time in the performance center. She's very bad at wrestling.
Don't remember watching it.
Yeah, well,
It wasn't the
you
best.
shouldn't have done.
I'm not gonna lie.
Next, Alistair Black was practicing kicking and does an interview.
I've talked about this before, haven't we?
We have, but I'm going to go over it again.
He's got 12 episodes to recap.
I'm ahead of him.
I think
now.
everyone is.
He describes the dream as a child and that he can't get attention by being bizarre.
Oh yeah.
A decent promo, but he still shouldn't be speaking.
Shouldn't be speaking.
I don't mind him
Discuss this.
speaking. I mean, I know it would have been better if he didn't speak, but now I'm just embracing. Like,
Yeah,
you can't go back now. It would have been much cooler, as like what you were saying. I think in episode 13, recall, is when you were saying like it would have been better if he went to speak, and then Dream came out, and then
kicked him.
he didn't get a chance to speak. I think that would have been the best thing they could
because
have
he
possibly
black
done.
masses the microphone out of his hand. If
Yeah.
he just did that,
I thought that's what was going to happen, and then they let him speak.
and he was like, "I travelled around the world." Blah, blah, blah.
That's,
It's
by the
like,
way,
yeah.
Black Mass. I
don't
think
speak.
that's the best and the coolest name of a finisher in NXT. I think it's amazing.
It is because Black Mass is like supposed to be the heaviest, like the most
Element.
dense element in the universe.
Uh huh.
So it's like getting smashed in
He's
the face.
my one for the future.
Alistair Black.
I think he's
You probably love him, don't you?
it's one
yeah.
of my favourites. He's probably my favourite in NXT, and I hope like when he goes on the main roster, he's like big as the Undertaker was.
I think his gimmick.
I think
will
he's a
work anywhere
different
as well.
guy.
He's a different guy,
You
but
could
you gotta
go-
know like where I'm coming from because he's big. He's got this dark thing about him. He's got like they should have not had him speak, and they should have had that whole like with the entrance and everything like that. We've talked about how good that's going to be at WrestleMania, Undertaker style sort of like big entrance. I just think he's one for the future.
You're right in what you're saying. Like you like he could be anything. Like he could be like sometimes he could talk more. Sometimes he can be more gothic-y. Like you can like chop and change it like what the Undertaker did.
I don't think he's going to talk much. I think at the minute it's they've had to do it to make the feud the way it is, because I think if he didn't talk all the way through and the way Dream goes on, I think it would have been quite like weird if Dream just talked all the time and he stood there like. So I do understand why you had to talk, but
It's a good place to try it out though. NXT, it's what it's
No,
for.
that's
Isn't
it.
it?
You can do whatever you
but
want.
yeah, he's awesome.
So next,
Brother.
next we had Cassius Ohno versus
no.
Fabian Eichner.
Who?
Fabian Eichner.
All right.
He was a cruiserweight classic entrant.
Oh no.
Um,
No,
Oh
cruiserweight.
yes, I remember that one. He was amazing.
so yeah, Eichner's NXT debut.
Yeah,
You really?
yeah. He was like, he's like an agile,
Bald guy.
like muscly, agile
Yeah.
guy, isn't he?
So he was much slighter in the Cruiserweight Classic, but he's put loads of weight on. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's going to try and have a heavyweight run. Yeah, he does a springboard no-hand suicide dive,
Yeah.
which is quite impressive, and a double springboard moonsault. And he's like huge as well, so that was nice.
Where's
You
Ohno?
don't remember who he is at all,
No,
do
I
you?
remember this.
it was-
And this is my problem with him.
Who we're having a problem with?
Fabian Eichner,
No, not Ono.
not Ono.
No. I've got a
Well,
problem.
you've
with
got
him.
problems. You've got problems
He,
with
he
him.
just wears basketball jerseys. That's all he does.
I haven't got a problem with Ono. I've got a problem with the ring attire.
Is his physique?
No, not even that. It's just like I don't care. Like,
Should
a
he wear
normal guy
trousers?
should be a normal guy, but like, wear shorts like Kevin Owens.
I just can't be bothered with them, full stop.
So Aichner also does a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker and delay suplexes on Ono, which is impressive because, as we know and have covered extensively, Ono is a bigger gent.
Brother.
Big boy.
He's a big brother.
So Ono wins with a cyclone kick after a few strikes. This was an advert for Fabian Aichner, like you said, like mint, but he needs something else because he's the most generic looking bloke ever.
Yeah.
So generic to the fact that you
Generic wrestler man.
He's a generic wrestler man. He's to the point that you couldn't remember who he is. He's just a
can't
ball
remember
bloke.
this match ever,
He's
have
like if you've got your character on WWE.
Yeah, before you've done anything.
And you haven't
to
done
it.
anything.
Yeah.
He's like that.
Just wear shorts.
So
I'm
you
going to
need-
do that today. So I'm going to make just a generic wrestler man for WWE.
Called generic wrestler.
he's
man.
generic wrestler, man.
He's really good as well.
He's class, but
He reminds me of the guy of the cruiserweight. What's he called? The guy with the 12 abs.
Tony Nese.
Like, yeah,
but
like-
Tony Nese has got a very like.
Tony
he's
Nese has
got-
got something
he's
about
like
him.
a
hasn't
look,
he?
hasn't
He,
he?
he has, but like he's got no banter though. It's so that you'll still be stuck in the same way that nothing can be done to an extent because you
He's,
like
he's
you
with
like
Drew
snore.
Gulak though, who's got
Yeah.
the best banner ever.
Yeah,
Drew
that-
Gulak's my favourite in the cruiserweights at the minute. Like,
So good, and he's WrestleFriend alumni.
I love
as
the
well.
shape of his head.
He's a WrestleFriend.
So Ono's being kept strong for Lars. How do people feel about that match?
I hope he smashes Ono all over.
Yeah,
probably gonna-
that's probably going to happen as well. So good.
How do you feel about? We know how Dave feels about Ono, but how do you feel about
I'm
him?
not a fan at all in the slightest.
Just
It's like
do you think he'd be a better heel? I think he's a born heel, mate.
I just think he's boring full stop. I think it's one of those times where he's obviously been quite big in the indies or whatever, and they brought him for the fans because the NXT always want to bring
Indie people.
people in that make everyone go holy shit, all that kind of stuff. And I was just like,
He's been
Couldn't
brought in
care.
to put people over, though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
he's one of them guys that we talked about before that should just be on NXT forever because he'll do nothing on the
Yeah.
main roster.
You'll have good matches on NXT, and that's what you want every week.
And he'll put people over, and I think that should be his job.
it almost feels I don't know much about him, which probably doesn't help. He might have been amazing back in the day, but I almost feel like he's at the end of his career, and he might not be. For all I know, I don't know much about him.
It's like CM Punk's age, so like 40.
He's still got time.
Because
now,
they
but-
like came up together.
I think, nah, don't like him.
Oh,
No, don't dislike him. It's his ring attire, man. He's got to do something about that. Like, he's not going to do anything on the main roster, I don't think.
He's dressing like bloody
keep him in
Kobe
NXT.
Bryant, but he's like a white guy with bloody.
I suppose him
Lumberjack?
having his like fat legs out and that gets people talking. Well, gets us talking anyway.
I've got
I've literally heard nobody else talking about it.
I've got one idea that you could do with him, but you'd have to stop using these hair straighteners though. Is you could bring him as part of the Bludgeoning brothers.
Brother.
He would be a good bludgeon brother.
Do you not think, I think we've talked about this before, right? If your only job was to be fit and healthy,
Well, yeah,
you
that's
would
kind
go
of
to
my
the gym,
and he's
you
not
would, like,
he's not a Kevin Owens kind of fat.
no, he's like
He's a
just
different kind of
flabby
fat.
fat, isn't he? Because Kevin Owens, although he's
a beast.
fat, he's like a tank. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas like he's just full on flab, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Like,
But he was the first time he was on NXT. He was in shape,
Didn't he get sacked for being fat?
but he let himself go while on NXT.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, yeah, there's something intangible about like tanky fat guys like Kevin Owens that make him look better. Whereas with Ono, it just doesn't.
I just don't think he's very movable.
When you can do mint, you
Yeah.
can do like mint kind of topes and suicide dives and that. But
Imagine how good he would be if he was in shape, though.
that's it, yeah.
Can you imagine how good he would be if he was actually good?
Like I don't think Kevin Owens.
If he was in shape.
I don't think Kevin Owens would be any better if he lost weight.
Have you seen the Kevin Owens story, the DVD kind of thing?
No,
Where you see the footage of him back in the day, and he was like a skinny rake.
Yeah,
And
do
he-
450s.
But he does exactly the same thing now. He can do the same thing now, even if he's like 20 stone, and he can do the same thing as he was when he was like Mark Jago size.
Thanks.
Which I think is very impressive. I think he's just clearly like a very athletic person. So you could get Yokozuna size and he's still doing 450
I
specials.
think it's. I know we've talked about it before, but it's so impressive that he's the best on the mic, and English isn't his first language.
Yeah.
so
I didn't
amazing,
even know that.
Kevin Owens is literally my favourite person. Full
I
stop.
think after that,
Top guy.
he's gone.
now.
Yeah. After the Shane McMahon, like after he beat Shane McMahon, he's had a bit of bad luck. He had to get called away from live shows and stuff like that. But I think when he gets back, he's got to be top guy, hasn't he? No.
He's made just by one thing. Sammy's like interesting now.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad as well because I like Sammy.
I like Sammy as well. Do you want to do some thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to September.
Starting to need a wee.
I think this has been better, like doing less but doing more.
This is what happens because.
But I have too many thoughts. So
This is what I do. I just write the headlines and then it prompts conversation.
Oh, that's what I've done. I'm glad I've took.
I can't do it because my brain doesn't last. Right. So next was Adam Cole's NXT debut. In-ring debut versus Eric Young of Sanity. The Undisputed Era name made more sense because he was using it in promo, like saying, "Oh, we are undisputed" and stuff. And I thought that made it like we were like, "Oh, shit, it's shit." But when he actually used it in promo, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But do I only think that because Adam Cole's saying it and he's cool?
Possibly.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he can make anything work. He's one of those guys on the mic who can do anything, and it is a shit name, but he could literally call himself like the Baby Babies, and you'd be like, "Oh God, you've seen those Baby Babies? They're amazing." Do you know what I mean? Like he's just that good on the mic. Actually, that would work. Actually, the Adam Cole Baby Babies.
Adam Cole Baby.
It's very difficult for people. Yeah, it'd have to be babies, not baby babies. The Adam Cole baby babies.
But yeah, he's just that good. I think that's what it is.
I'm looking forward to seeing Adam Cole in some really like big matches.
Well, that's what I was thinking here. Like, I'll go through it and
Go on then.
I'll tell you.
I'd hate to knock you out of chronological order.
As we've covered, he's got baby on his trunks. Awesome.
Baby.
Baby.
I wonder if he's going to do like story time and stuff like that he used to do.
I don't think
I've
you'll
never
get
seen any of that.
I don't think you'll get enough. I don't think you'll get enough
Story
time.
time with Adam Cole, baby.
I think what
I think eventually, if they go away from the Undisputed Era, he might do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think what happened on these other shows though, they literally just give him as much time as he wanted, and I think that's what you won't get in this. You'll get time obviously, but I think in Ring of Honor that I watched it, and he was just speaking for like 20 minutes one time.
Yeah.
I like how they're pushing his character as crafty and resourceful, like a resourceful heel rather than someone who can like batter people. He's like the mind games kind of guy.
Yeah, I hope they keep that up.
Like I know I keep mentioning, but in that Kevin Owens way where he always comes out on top, but he's done it through being like a dick.
I like to think of that as like the Edge, when Edge was the heel.
Yeah, he was like the original.
He was clever about it, wasn't he? And he was like, but he would win.
And then you've got the Shawn Michaels obvious sort of like comparisons.
He even looks like him,
Does.
like facially.
He is a sexy boy, like
Shawn Michaels into the equation as well for the
Yeah, well, that's
for the
not
match.
that's not going to be televised though.
It is.
No, it's not. It's not a takeover. It's just.
I thought it was a takeover. It is.
It's not. It's on the 17th.
Shawn Michaels.
It's on a house.
Referee.
It's on a house show in Antonio, Texas, on the 17th of November, and
You would know that.
and War Games is on the 20,
I thought it was in the War
27th.
Games. Oh no, he's in the War Games.
He's
match,
in the
isn't
War
he?
Games match.
But then Shawn Michaels is also having an abs off with Johnny Gargano at some event as well.
That's my Wrestle Thoughts. That's probably not going to come in until my solo episode that I'm going to do. But
Solo.
Gargano looks absolutely shredded on the last episode. Like
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I was semi. I'm not gonna lie.
He's not pretty in the face though, is he?
No.
He's definitely better than Lars.
Well, everybody's better than Lars.
That's harsh.
Got Lars.
So Sanity are like uber faces now. Like Young even did like a spinning neck break and then went like "come on" to the crowd. Like it didn't really fit. For me.
That was you do quite a good. You've got a bit of Eric Young about you actually when you go crazy with your face.
It's because he's had to have surgeries on his polyps.
I haven't.
I know I'm talking about Dave doing an impression of Eric. I'm not talking about Eric doing an impression of Dave.
People can't see Dave's face though.
Brother.
He's doing an Eric Young type face.
If you could see Dave's face right now, honestly, oof.
I'll put one on Facebook later.
Eric Young face.
face.
That beep's starting to annoy us, but it's because we're in
That's
a
one
shop.
of the one of the things when you're working in a shop.
Yeah.
And you're podcasting in a shop.
It's like authentic shop noises, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it'll add to the every time we do a podcast, something happens, like
Somebody rings where your kids come in.
or fireworks go off, or like today we have shop noises.
So it hasn't been released yet, but episode 14, I'm thinking about calling it Fireworks and Children.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds dangerous.
But do you not think that's it's a little bit of a dangerous sounding name for many reasons.
And also because it's not going to be a dangerous podcast.
You shouldn't mix fireworks.
But that makes it
children.
funny because it's not dangerous.
Oh, nice.
Or I was thinking about calling it Genuine North Shields Fireworks.
Remember.
Right, this is going too much off topic.
Hot topic.
Sanity is faces. Don't like it.
No.
So for the finish, Sanity in the era brawl at ringside. Young dives on them all. As Eric gets back in the ring, Cole hits a running knee for the 1-2-3. I love this match because it was short and it didn't show much of Adam Cole.
Yeah.
So it's like
Same.
leaves wanting
More.
more, please.
Yeah, I like it. The less you show of him, the better at the minute. Because
Yeah,
once
and
something does come, you're gonna just be like,
It's going to be a big match, that first sort of like big takeover match, singles match, because he's involved in the thingy match. War Games match. So it's not just going to be him. The building up for that big first singles match, and that'll be really good.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, brother.
Shall I just leave NXT there and do my other 3 NXTs in my solo episode?
Oh, you probably should, because we're up to 45 minutes already, and
That's what I was thinking.
I think Dave would enjoy that, definitely.
definitely.
But I like doing one because we're just doing some.
But
funny
all your
talking.
thoughts about NXT?
Aye.
Always?
Well, but I've watched everything else, so anything that you've mentioned, I can like.
Yeah,
Contribute.
I think the good thing about this is when I like being a fan of the WrestleFriends podcast. When you actually do get to have the episodes, it's like nice because you go back in time with Mark's NXT thoughts. You remember things that happened last month because you're like, oh, and then it kind of does remind you of
Like you had forgot about Fabian Eichner, I bet you.
Yeah. I've already forgot his name, but I remember that he was awesome.
I forgot already.
I just remember he was just like, he's literally the most shaven person on the
I
planet.
like that. That is the purpose of my NXT obsession, is that people who have watched NXT and just enjoyed it, like normal people, then are reminded of what they enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. So,
I tell you, I watched TLC last night and I was just having a sandwich and then like I really enjoyed it.
So on your solo episode, are you gonna
I'm just gonna really.
Are you gonna catch up?
So we're up to NXT 416. Tomorrow will be NXT 417. I'll keep that for episode 16 of the WrestleFriends podcast. But I'm just gonna very, very seriously read out what happened.
I bet that
it's gonna be the worst
it's gonna be a
episode.
yawn fest.
Yeah,
the reason I'm doing it is because we always have a little bit of data left at the end of the month, and I don't want to
I'll
waste
be able
it.
to listen to that one as a fan
that'll be the only
and a comment on it.
the only podcast rated universal. It's gonna be literally like a Disney episode. It's gonna be so normal.
Nah,
You
I'll
should
try
give it
and
separate music.
I'll try and push it up.
You should
So
do
just
You
like
should have boring music.
you should do what Dolph does when he comes out and just have like the start of wrestler and then just go, and then nothing happens. And
yeah,
then just
so you
come
know
in.
what, like the opening intro bit,
Yeah.
and then just nothing else.
Yeah, and then just be like, hi, it's only Mark.
Anyway, moving on, because that sounds dull. I've got on the map Fraser's Wrestle Thoughts.
Whoa.
Come on, Fraser.
Do I have to
Spotlight on you.
Fraser has gone for writing his on his phone rather than in a book, which I'm a little bit uncomfortable about.
I'm all digital.
Since we're a pen kind of
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Dave's even thinking about going now.
I'm thinking of making the switch.
Yeah, I'm just like full on digi mode. So
You're a digi brother.
yeah, brother.
Digimon.
Yeah, so here's my wrestle thoughts. So the kind of like, not necessarily the way you usually do them. They're almost like topics that I like to speak about.
Well, this is fine.
That's what I'll do. It's a sensible way of doing it.
No, like you
Otherwise
say
get
that as
sidetracked like we
if
do with Mark.
you say that as if, like, but like I take the podcast hostage with my talking because
Snowfest. Yeah.
Yep.
Thoughts.
And if you took that element away from the podcast, it would probably not be the same. So
So my
keep up the good work.
gotta have a boring bit.
However,
So yeah, so my first one is Miz.
Miz,
Love the Miz.
awesome.
Love the Miz. More, he just basically is the guy. Like
He is the guy.
He literally runs the show. I was speaking about this to Mark earlier on, and I think it's just because of massive lack of like real heels. I think
Heels with heat, with
Yeah.
genuine heat. On Raw at the minute, there's him and Elias.
Yeah, we were saying that.
now.
weren't we?
Yeah, and I was just like, other than Elias, I don't even think across all of the shows, even like Corbin and stuff, I don't think anything like Miz is by far the best. And I think at the minute he's like doing everything. And what I was saying to Mark earlier on is just a recap. Is we're talking about the whole Jason Jordan scenario and how it's like how they chose him over Gable because basically he's like a bit more of a snowfest on the mic than Gable can be hilarious.
I would like to see them bump into each other at Survivor Series at some point.
Well, did you see it on Raw where
He went straight for it.
it was the best thing that happened on Raw.
I just love
I
watching
think
Gable
there'll be a
jump around.
moment. They'll both be in the Survivor Series match, one on Team Raw, one on Team SmackDown, and there'll be a moment where they like bump heads.
I hope so. And kiss.
Yep. Kiss and make up. Give each other a cuddle and
They'll
then.
be like WrestleFriends.
Velveteen Dream will be backstage like coaching them on how to
Do nothing.
kiss.
So I was saying this just how amazing the Miz is, just because I think he deserves to be spoken about more because
I think he deserves a championship run.
I think he does. I think he's like Adam Cole in the way he's kind of got this kind of like he can have a faction with anyone. Like he can literally grab guys, and I thought it was a mint idea. I don't know whose idea it was behind the scenes, but to have Bo and Curtis Axel actually be relevant because they're actually decent, and they're literally just like been jobbers for like years. He's given them a suit, and then all of a sudden they're actually all like real guys.
The
like
way
real
TLC worked out, it was good and all that, but I would have preferred to see Dallas and Axel take the extra bumps.
Yeah, maybe it was planned to happen, but obviously shit happened. Illness.
And then the most mental match in the world occurred. But yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing them two involved in like a main event.
Yeah.
But
It didn't work out.
Somebody's been spreading AIDS around.
Yeah.
Wrestle AIDS.
Wrestling AIDS.
People have all been making out with each other left, right, and centre.
Cooties.
Cooties. That was it. They've all got cooties.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and we're talking about like the Miz and how with Jason Jordan, like how the crowd just aren't really getting behind him. From what I've gathered, like he's obviously amazing, but. And he had the little thing with the Miz, and if the Miz can't get something out of a reaction out of you, then I don't think it's gonna work for a lot of the time. And I feel for Jason in a way because he's been given this like everything
massive.
And it's like that yes or no basically from, and I think he'll stick around regardless because I think he's just brilliant at what he can do.
He's a super wrestler, but
I think when the Miz, if the crowd doesn't get behind you when the Miz is involved, I think. Because you can imagine if Gable was doing it, Gable would be doing something stupid, and you would be like.
But we were talking about this on the way down as well. They're not letting Gable show the personality that he showed on NXT.
Yeah.
Do you remember the whole stuff when he was trying to get in with Jordan?
Yeah.
And he kept like approaching him backstage and stuff.
I love it.
So funny. He had the like towel, the Ready, Willing, and Gable on. Like that was hilarious, and they've not let him show anything.
Yeah.
I think.
But at the same time, that's almost a good thing. He's having the gradual, just having good matches in tag teams.
Yeah.
Which is better than what they've done with Jordan, because we're now having that conversation that is Jordan boring.
Negative.
It's really weird in the way that you think like everyone would kill to have that push that Jason's had, but it's also like could be the worst thing to happen because
it was a really stupid way to do it as well though. Like
awful.
Kurt Angle's son. Like what?
My black son. My black son.
Well,
it's really bad way.
I want
to
you
like...
black for good. But,
no.
Might have to cut that out.
Don't do it.
There was an interview with Kurt Angle when he talked about the whole Jason Jordan thing about being his son, and it basically sounded as if they chose Jason because Gable was the obvious choice to do it.
Yeah.
And in the way that he gets compared a lot more to Kurt Angle because he's got banter, he's got the actual like wrestling cred.
People forget that Kurt Angle was one of the funniest guys. Like going.
Why did anyone have to be Kurt Angle's son?
Well, my poem is titled "Because Wrestling."
Oh, that's always a good one.
I think that recently they've done a few weird things. Like that was the one I think of most, where you just like. Because they had all the behind the scenes gossip of like, oh, it's going to be the girl from TNA, like the owner, whatever. It's going to be this, it's going to be this, and then it's the same with Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail now.
God.
Like,
you know what?
Amazing.
Wrestle AIDS, right? It stopped career suicide there because that was going to be. Them two wrestlers would not have recovered from that.
I wanted to see Pumpkin Finn. a little bit
honestly,
disappointed with
He
it.
honestly, that match with AJ Styles might have just very well saved his career.
I actually think he hasn't got it. I honestly don't believe he's got it, and they've used it because they realised how bad the crowd reacted to that happening.
Uh-huh.
And I think they were
What, you
almost
reckon
as if
he's not
like
ill?
I mean, might be wrong.
Do you
Which
think
is
he
harsh.
hasn't been touched by wrestling?
Yeah.
I think that they needed to stop.
Exactly.
It needed
And I
to
think
stop.
I think this was and if it is like fake and that he hasn't got it, I think it's the best decision they've made because that was awful.
Do you think it's
They need
similar?
to keep him off telly for a while. They need to keep Bray Wyatt away for a good few months, I think, and bring him back like darker and like no joke gimmick, just and let him win some matches and build him up that way again and start afresh with him. That's what they need to do with him.
I love Bray as well. I think part of he's the worst thing about Bray is that he can be so good on the mic.
Yeah.
And they give him too much time.
Yeah.
And then I think it becomes boring sometimes because you're like, it's the same. He's
samey,
had the
isn't it?
same feud with about 12 people.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, it's awesome, but like.
That's
after
why
the
you need a
12th
break
one,
from it, though, isn't it?
And I don't think you'll ever want to change anything that he is now because when I've heard him speak in interviews, they said he's very like himself. Mm-hmm. And when he first went on the roster, he was like someone Harris or something, was he?
Husky Harris.
Yeah, and it was rubbish. And it was like, he said I hated it.
He was part of the initial NXT
Nexus,
revolution, and the Nexus, yeah.
But he hated it, didn't he? And now I don't think you'll ever want to change, and I think he does need to change something just because they've ruined it to an extent where it's like quite
Maybe he
boring.
needs to go like when they had the Ministry of Darkness for the Undertaker. He needs to go even more like
Dark.
He could do something quite cool with the Bludgeon Brothers, which is my second wrestling thought.
Ooh, moving swiftly on.
Yeah, it's like the narrative moves.
It's nice to see Harper back.
I actually really like Rowan as well,
Yeah,
but
he's
Harper's
good.
obviously amazing. Like
Yeah.
every time, like this is what I like about the network as well, is you get to see all the actual real thoughts of people like legends and actual current wrestlers, and the amount of people that like love Harper. Like every single, like
Yeah.
Stone Cold, JBL, like every single one of them are like.
But they all
he's the
love
guy.
like old, like wrestling from Japan and Texas and stuff, and like he's like Bruiser Brody and people like that. Am I laughing?
Just for something earlier on, but yeah,
Is there something we can't say?
yeah. Secrets.
Intrigue.
Probably just
Got me pen
probably just defensive.
Yeah, not offensive. Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to the Bludgeon Brothers.
Do you think
Sometimes I
it's
find
going
it
to be
really,
them against Breeze Dango? It's
I
looking
hope-
that way.
They
innit?
mentioned them on the fashion files.
Oh, did
this
they?
morning.
It's looking that way.
Oh,
innit?
well, there you go. I hope that. Well, as long as it gets Breezango in the ring.
But you know
I
what
want
I
both
worry
of Breeze
about?
Dango.
I
love
worry
them.
about that you're having all your fun with Breezango, and they've mentioned the Bludgeon Brothers in fashion files, and then they're just going to come and absolutely kill
Destroy
them.
them.
Yeah.
They've done such a good job with the fashion files lately. I think that Breeze Dango deserves so much more than just getting squashed off. Bludgeon Brothers.
That's what
But,
I'd be
like,
worried about. And it also kind of, if they don't get squashed, the only other option is to make the Bludgeon Brothers less cool. Because obviously it's like a massive gimmick, the fashion files, and the Bludgeon Brothers are coming in with these,
I think.
like...
What about giving the Bludgeon
shovels.
Brothers the Ascension instead?
Yeah, like sort of serve them up.
No.
That would be better.
They like do a
Poor
little
Ascension.
cheeky.
just get used for everything bad, don't they?
So like the
Can't
fashion
use
files.
Breeze Dango. Breeze Dango have been
Oh,
since
you
the
could
Superstar
do- I
love
Shake-Off
them.
have been the highlight of SmackDown.
You could
Yeah, I love them.
do Breezango say like if you want to be our friends, you have to go and wrestle the Virgin Brothers.
Yeah.
Because you know how the whole thing was them trying to
Yeah.
be their friends.
Yeah, that'll be good. I mean...
Just can't do it. Ascension, just do it, man.
Oh, I've just thought of actually something just clicked there. It's another whole 2B thing.
Yeah.
2B, BB.
They say
Bludgeon
that on this
Brothers.
on it was
No way.
Fashion Dogs, so they were doing like a Reservoir Dogs thing.
Oh, amazing.
And
I
Connor and
see
Vic
this
now were
one.
like drinking gas, and they were gonna eat James Ellsworth's chin. You know how he like pulls the ear off in Reservoir Dogs.
Good job doing that. He's got no chin.
But yeah, they were saying 2B and like Bludgeon Brothers, yeah.
Oh, that's
so
why
it's,
I-
that's
that's
gonna
it
be.
then,
it.
innit?
I love them even more now.
But I think they might do like a chicken
Ascension.
out. They could do chicken out, give them the Ascension, like proper like sell the Ascension out, and then I think Breezango would work as like heels as well, like funny heels.
I just think they could. I love the fact that they've done so well without even wrestling.
Yeah.
Like they don't even have to wrestle, and they're actually both good. Like they're really good. So God, the future's awesome for them.
Tyler Breeze is really young as well, and he's got like. I seen something on Twitter the other day, and somebody had commented on Tyler Breeze's accounts saying they've done such a good job. You were like Shawn Michaels in NXT, and now you've come to SmackDown. You don't even wrestle anymore. And Tyler, and he simply commented like, I'm young and I've got a lot of time. You know what I mean? So
that's the thing as well. It's like what I was mentioned with Xavier Woods.
There's already
he's not wrestling at the minute which is awesome because he's still up there at the top and he's not even wrestling. So God knows how long that's going to prolong his wrestling.
The psychology of it with Tyler Breeze is, if he does become to be a serious wrestler in the future, people are going to have so much like love for him already because of this.
I'm all up for these.
Whoever wrote that was an idiot.
Stupid idiot.
I'm all up for these little gimmicks that they have, and it's like what you're saying with them. What we were saying before with the Miz, like there's people that are massively underutilized who are actually really talented.
You've got to remember that everyone's had a past as well. Shawn Michaels wasn't always Shawn Michaels. He was
the Rockers.
Yeah, he was the Rockers first.
They were my favourite when I was younger, and I always remember thinking, I don't even know who that is.
When he puts Jannetty through the window in
I was all
Barbershop.
Jannetty, because Jannetty was the one that almost seemed like he was the name that everyone was talking about, not Michaels. And then all of a sudden when he did that, boom.
That's probably one of our problems as well, because we love NXT so much. When they come onto the main roster, we just expect them to be as big as they were in NXT, and it's not really going to happen, is it? Because then it's starting again, isn't it? Really, unless you're one of the big guys like Bobby Roode or Samoa Joe, who is well established already. You're not just going to come on the main roster and automatically be big. You need to start the build up again. It's like starting a new job all over again, isn't it?
This perfectly leaves us into my other wrestling thought.
I keep doing that. It's seamless, isn't it?
I know.
So
I'll just wait for doing this for years.
Radio 1. So it's NXT. I'm starting to get annoyed by, like I mentioned before, the whole stepping up. I think NXT should literally be. It's like. People should stay at NXT. Like they should maybe try and make it a little bit bigger slightly. I do like that way the house show is, but I think they need to do something to like stop making it seem a bit undercard in a way, because they do. It looks like a bit undercardy, doesn't it, compared to like, and I think like
an extra half an hour.
Yeah, that was. I thought hour might be too long, but an extra half hour would give you Adam Cole on the microphone for an extra 5 minutes.
You could maybe start the cruiserweights in there as well, because. It ain't working on the main roster. Maybe
give the UK the show, not the cruiserweights. That's what I think straight away. But that's a whole different ballgame.
We've talked about a TV title tournament as well.
Yeah.
So you increase you have a TV title tournament the same way as you've had the Cruiserweight Classic or Mae Young Classic, and then you have an extra half an hour every week, and you make them 15-minute matches. So there's a middle belt as well, and then you have 15 extra minutes, like you say, for Adam Cole to like. Do his like what you said, like story time with Adam Cole baby and stuff.
Yep.
The TV title is definitely one of my points as well. Is I think it's ideal because
we talk about this every week, don't we?
I know.
We really need them back.
It just makes sense. I mean, the reason why I was thinking about, I was just thinking of RVD on ECW.
Yeah,
that was the biggest belt.
Every single night he fought because he's one of the best to watch. So if you give that to someone like. I know he won't be doing it because he's not like full on contract, but like Tyler Bate. Imagine if you give it to Tyler Bate.
And had class
every
matches.
single week is a class match.
Yep.
So you're guaranteed, even if it's going to be like a not as good like show, it's always going to have.
Or you could have
match.
like Aleister Black wins it in his second match, has 7 months where he defends it, has class matches, and then drops it and then moves up.
Just makes them. Matches that you're already interested in, because you're already interested in Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream, but having that belt involved would just take it to the next level.
I think it just all makes. I don't think there's any negatives. I think it even makes the main belt stronger.
Or you could
because you don't have to fight often, do you? Like, do you know what I mean?
Velveteen Dream would look good with a belt on.
Well, I was just saying, we were just thinking, like, say Velveteen Dream was. The TV champion, and they're trying to push him over 6 months. You could have a long reign, and he could like change the belt to like purple and like put studs on it. But his elbow's the purple rainmaker.
I just think like generally like I want to get your other wrestle thoughts out just because it's not a seamless list. One, I apologise, Dave.
Right, knock that up.
Yeah, NXT longer TV title. That's literally what I wrote for NXT. I'm not doing like Mark. I haven't got like me book. I'm apologising. But yeah, I just think NXT generally, like, I think that would help make it as, like, I know it's a separate show as it is, but it's like, I know you talk about a lot, it's like a show for adults,
Yeah, but
almost.
that's it.
Yeah, it is.
And I think you could do more things on there. Like, I know on the main roster they've been doing a little bit more hardcore kind of things recently, but like they obviously don't always do that. They do want to make it PG still. But with NXT, I think you can do anything. Like, honestly,
It's like what we always talk about. I see NXT, the reason I'm so excited and passionate about it is I see NXT as what WWE could be in however long it takes Vince to
It's not it.
go away.
it just
Not that I'm wishing somebody dead, because that's bad.
it reminds me of the Attitude Era in some ways, though, just because like it's got that like anything
I think
could
it has
happen
the
on it as well.
Attitude Era, but it also, you could tell Triple H loves old wrestling as well. It's just so
Indy-
It's just got a good mix.
There's an indie boom going on outside of WWE at the minute, and I think that's sort of like,
capitalising.
yep.
And yeah, I think NXT is almost like when indie people are wanting to go to WWE. I don't think they want to go to WWE. I think they want to go to NXT first.
I think if I was an indie wrestler, I would want to be going to NXT and staying in NXT, because
yeah.
there's so many times they've been brought up to the main roster and they've totally like cocked it up massively. Look at the Ascension. We've talked about them already.
They had the titles longer than anyone, didn't they?
You can't guarantee just because you go in NXT and you go on to the main roster that it's going to work for you, because it ain't.
Space.
Well,
But there's even like little things. So because Triple H is in charge of NXT, they get buses to ferry them around.
Yeah.
And hotel rooms paid for. On the main roster, you have to hire your own car.
Yeah.
And you have to find your own hotel. Like, you've got to think Triple H is going to straight away be thinking, right, we'll make sure everybody's covered. It means people are going to be more relaxed. They're going to be more like rested. But it's almost like Vince feels people have to pay their dues.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
thing.
think some of the wrestlers like doing that though, because they like having their own time. Because some of them really don't like other people, so like they just like doing that
But
separately.
I'm sure if you're like somebody who wants to do their own thing,
They'll let
he's
them
not
do
going to
it.
say like you
Yeah,
can't.
that's cool.
But like Samoa Joe is like, when I signed for NXT, I thought it was going to be like WWE. That's part of the reason I wasn't keen on WWE, is like you'd have to do all these things. But he's
Yeah,
like, I got there and like I had the bus waiting, and then like my hotel was paid for, and I was like, can I not just stay here, please?
So yeah, so next wrestling talk kind of works into it as well as kind of. I think a lot of the reason why they don't make it to the main roster, like the Ascension, for example, is because it's just the lack of banter, like no skills on the mic, or not even mic skills, just charisma generally.
But they
Like,
don't let the right people show charisma. though.
They don't, but I think at the minute now I think in the main roster there's a big thing over like wrestling ability in charisma, whereas like in the Attitude Era, the reason why everyone loves it, I think, is because it was all charisma. Like, it was just people letting them do stupid things, and it was hilarious, and then it was also Stone Cold going crazy. Whereas this time it's all like loads of wrestling ability. Like there's better wrestlers than ever now. Like, because you've got people that aren't even like big people like on the roster who are nobodies, who are like better than the top guys like 10, 15 years ago. And I think like NXT, every time someone goes up, they're like technically like awesome. Like, everyone's always really good, but they can't emote to like a 15, 20,000 crowd every week because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it before. They literally, and I think sometimes that would also help NXT being its own brand, because I know NXT is almost like kind of is a feeder to it, but not everyone can do that because it is a massive step up. But there's nothing in between, is there really, that they can.
Do you know, I think there's a massive gap now between the top guys on the main roster and there's sort of like the bottom guys, and there's no mid-card really. It's sort of like it's failing a bit there a little bit, especially with the rosters being so big at the minute. There's there's loads of scope to have a really good mid-card, and it's not that great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why that is. It's like you should have someone like the Miz should be like high in the mid card, but they keep slotting them into little main event things because either people are ill or suspended or
it's weird because I think like they do that with SmackDown as well. As like, obviously AJ is like amazing, and then they'll just like put AJ down a little bit for a while just to try and up it, and you're just like, well, no, just
that was just for Mark's mate Jinder, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sell some t-shirts.
I do like that, but obviously it's all
just
massive
like a
marketing
little
thing.
interjection. I want Jinder to beat Brock at Survivor Series so
Shut
much.
up.
If that happens, I'm saying I'm quitting wrestling.
I've said
He
that.
said the same.
quitting wrestling.
But like what? Like the reaction. He's not going to quit wrestling. Like the reaction.
I would.
The reaction.
Might for a week.
Getting that reaction from you is what they want.
Exactly.
They're playing the internet
totally
wrestling
understand.
community so well.
But you can't have Brock beaten with Brock beat
But
Braun
no,
with one F5 and then get beat by.
But no, they'll do
Jinder.
like a little shenanigans. Like
Yeah.
something will happen.
Like the Singh brothers and stuff. But like
other people as well.
Brock's
Some-
going to fling them around.
I know they're like 4 foot.
And look how excited you are.
I'm excited at them getting flung around.
Poor
So
guy.
they get-
I'm not excited in the match.
Brock's-
I don't rate Jinder as a wrestler. I don't think he's a good wrestler.
He is.
I
He
think
is a
he's-
good
I think
wrestler.
he's decent.
He's like, and I've
He's
said this
decent.
before, he's like an old 80s like babyface
I
heel.
flipped my
where he,
page in anger.
an old 80s heel where it's all wear down holds, stuff to make you annoyed.
Yeah, rubbish.
I do.
He's doing his job,
I do
man.
like the whole thing with Ginger. I think he's doing well with it.
Ginger.
I think
Ginger Mahal.
That could be my new name.
have a little Ginger streak.
Ginger Mahal.
Ginger Mahal.
Be like
That's
Rogue of
me.
X-Men. Just have a little Ginger streak to his hair. Oh, lush. That would be tasty.
I don't
Anyways,
think there's that many ginger Indians.
there's none.
I bet you there's one.
Not natural.
It can happen like that,
You
can it?
can you can have ginger black people. Wait, where's brown?
Something
Is
like
he
the
really
Manchester
ginger
United.
though?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a
I think we better breeze over this.
Yeah.
breeze angle.
We'll breeze angle.
I'll see if I can seamlessly float on the next one.
Unless it's about Ginger.
Oh yeah, so I went over Michael over ability kind of thing, and then my last one, which has nothing relevance to anyone, is entrance music.
Yay.
It's so important. Like
What's he called? Alistair Black. Like he literally has. It's like he's already on the main roster, but he's in a room with like 800 people.
You know what I think is
so important.
it is important, and most notable is like when Kane came back and he's not got allowed to have his fireworks anymore.
Yeah.
You notice shit like that, don't you?
Yeah.
It's like, where's Kane's fireworks? He needs fireworks.
I'm
So-
unbelievably annoyed about Kane's 2017 main event push.
Why?
Because he squashed Finn Balor on Raw.
Yeah.
No reason for
But
that.
they're only doing that to build him up to fight Braun.
I know, but
He's only going to be back for a couple
why are you
months,
sacrificing?
isn't he?
Well, he had a big win the night before, so not really going to hurt him, is it?
Did you see that? Literally,
like
no
it.
one backstage apparently knew that he was the fifth
Yeah,
guy.
he got flew in, didn't he? an
I
hour before?
like that. I like they're starting to do this recently because they did that with the Hardys and everything as well, didn't they? I like it's because it's kind of like less.
But it's not like that because Kane, you're like,
yeah,
fucking Kane.
I must admit I love Kane,
with his
like mainly because of the old
stupid
days.
wig.
You've got to like show some respect to Kane, brother.
He's unreal.
Nah.
It's Kane.
Like
I've never liked Kane.
You know I love a mask.
You just
He's the
shut
king
up,
of-
man.
he's
You've
the-
never liked Kane.
Nah. Even as a kid, I was like, this guy.
You didn't even. You didn't like.
This guy can't work.
You didn't.
It's
As
so full of
a
shit.
10-year-old in Beavers, that would once he would say that one day. But like, not even like the Brothers of Destruction, the double choke slam.
Nah.
That was literally
No
life.
Kane.
I just like.
You liked him in a suit though, I bet.
Yeah, I did like. Corporate Kane was class. Corporate Kane's my favourite, like.
Kane era.
Kane
He's like
era.
the worst one.
My favourite thing is the fact that he's actually was disappeared from the roster because he was actually local
Trying to be
government, and I loved it. And like he's back now because he
Didn't
failed.
work out.
And he's gonna. The thing he's only gonna be back for a few months, so and that's it. So
Does you think this will be his last run?
I think they'll bring him back.
Surely you've still
yeah.
got to book Kane as a monster though, because he's always been a monster.
Back to what Fraser was saying, because I hijacked that because I got angry about Kane.
entrance music, love
Entrance
it.
music. Like, it's so important. So, like, when Gable and Shelton Benjamin were made a team,
Yeah.
like, straight away I was right. YouTube music,
Yeah.
WWE music. Listen to that theme song. It was shit. I made the MP3 just so I could show Dave. Listen to this. It's shit. Like, it's so important.
It is. Well, one big example I think.
Tell you
is that
who's this class? Heavy Machinery.
It does suit them though.
They're doing a
It
lot.
has to
They're doing a
suit-
lot of rock ones now, aren't they? Because the Baron Corbin.
Velveteen Dreams one's so good as well.
That's nice.
It has to suit the wrestler as well.
Barron's
So
is
at the
nice.
minute, the one I
Yeah.
hate is me pet hate at the minute. You know who I'm going to say, don't you? Johnny Gargano's. I hate it.
This rebel heart. This rebel heart.
It's mental.
Well, I think it's honestly it's so important. Like one example
about
I've
to
got
say,
is one I love, even though the literally he's doing nothing at the minute. Is I can't even remember his name. That's how irrelevant he is now. They got signed him and his Mike and Maria Canelo.
Oh yeah, that was the best
Canellis.
theme
that
ever.
theme song is like a Def Leppard song.
They made such a big thing of them coming and then nothing happened.
then he got-
She's pregnant now, isn't
And
she?
he was on
He was
drugs.
drugs.
Oh, is that why? So I was bringing that up, Mike. But it got awesome theme
He's not
music.
gonna listen.
Like when that came, if he becomes a fan in 3 years' time and backtracks, he'll be furious. But not.
I've just got me busy WWE schedule. I'm gonna listen to all 50 episodes of this podcast.
Well, why? Because it's the greatest podcast
Ever known. WrestleFriends.
See, yeah. So things like that. Okay. And like I just think like the R starting up in a bit. Is obviously you got Glorious, which was just
Now you're not allowed pyro. You're gonna have to have really good entrance music.
yeah. But like basically that theme tune made
Even
Bobby Roode
something-
like it just
it made him.
He doesn't even have to. He could be a 3-foot guy with no muscles, and if he came out of that, people would still love it.
Twitter alert, because I've seen somebody, you know how everyone hates on Road Dogg on Twitter, and somebody had commented on why Bobby Roode's a face on SmackDown when he should be a heel, and Road Dogg simply commented, "Have you seen that entrance?
Yeah.
It's a face entrance." It's
Yeah.
like, and it is, isn't it? It's like,
It kind of doesn't make
It's
sense.
what we've talked about before in this new era of wrestling where everybody knows everything. Like, if you love a heel, he's a face.
Mm-hmm.
Because we never were like, oh, Bobby Roode's like shit. Whereas the only one who's doing his job properly is Jinder Mahal, and you can't say it.
Miz.
Yeah,
Miz.
when
but even us, we talk about how good his Miz is, so he's not big. He's not a heel. If we're
talking
talking
No,
about
we're
how
talking
good
about, it's still like to punch him in the face though. He's got one of the faces, isn't
yeah.
he? You'd love to hit him.
he is. Yeah, like
So, question for you: favorite entrance ever?
Ever?
Favorite music
what of anyone?
I'm gonna say Kane's just to piss me
of
off.
anyone ever.
Yeah.
Well,
DX.
this is too long of a conversation.
Well, just you've got to choose one. Quick fire, boom.
DX. DX when they used to do the
When
One
there
of
was
the
like
mo-
loads of them.
yeah.
One of the most iconic was Ultimate Warrior.
Warrior.
Yeah, that was good.
That's one of the most like iconic ever.
My favorite Edge.
Edge when
Yeah,
through the
you're
crowd
right.
Edge.
You think you know
think
me,
you know me.
on this day. That one.
Ultimate
Oh,
Bridge.
And yeah,
That was Outlet Bridge,
and I don't know if you heard on his podcast. Shout out to ENC. I was speaking to Mark about this a few weeks ago. I always wondered, do you know at WrestleMania how they have the bands out? They have like Kid Rock comes out and then Biscuit and all this.
Yeah.
And I thought Edge was like top guy for a while. Why never have it?
Why was Outlet Bridge never there? Maybe it's the hate wrestling.
Well, he answered this question in one of his pods. Do you call them pods or just podcast? I don't know.
You can call them pods if you want.
Call them pods.
Little pods for the ears.
On the
Got a
NC
couple
pod,
little
and
pods.
and he was he said the reason why he said it was my conscious decision. He says because I don't think with the character I had, it made sense for the face to have
Big.
that entrance music. He said it's badass. He said the face doesn't come out and be like like chilling with Alter Bridge. It's like no. So he said it just didn't work. He said, do you know how much I wanted to be on stage with Alter Bridge? He
Yeah.
said that it was offered, we could have did it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we did. And that just shows another reason why I love Edge, because he clearly thinks more than anyone, like a lot of people, doesn't he? Like, he doesn't just like...
Yeah.
Like, if I was Edge, I would have been like, get Alter Bridge on that stage right now.
See
The
your
fun was
favourite
everywhere.
of all time.
The more and more I'm starting to realise, I think, probably, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just because he did everything. He's literally done every
He bridged the
title.
gap from our childhood to our
Yeah.
like, adult
Yeah.
years, didn't
Like,
he?
he did every title.
They were apparently, I can't even remember which podcast I was listening to. It was someone on Chris Jericho. I can't remember who it was. It was like someone from the Attitude Era, and they said they noticed things changing because they used to go out and get pissed and like stay up all night, and like X-Pac was like had his life saved about 6 times and stuff like that.
Muscle relaxers and shit
And
like
like
that.
I think that the first time they noticed a change was like Edge and Christian when they came in, and like they were sleeping at night and stuff like that
Yeah.
instead of going out and getting wrecked, and they were like the big
Next
change.
big thing.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. I suppose I'll leave me wrestling thoughts there. Just with that, I love Edge
they
and
were
I love
good
his entrance
wrestling
They
music.
were bloody good thoughts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're hitting a large 1 hour 17 mark, so I'm just gonna go.
It's a special.
It is a special. It's a special day in a special place.
Dave's not even done his wrestle thoughts yet.
I'm gonna do my wrestle thoughts. I'm gonna drop them in your face.
Nice.
I noticed Fraser didn't do a theme.
Nah.
Well, I was gonna go for the whoa, we are wrestling. Whoa, we are friends. I just wanna be wrestling friends.
Oh, old school Raw theme.
Yeah, I was going for Papa Roach.
Papa Roach. Nice.
I was gonna do it, but I thought it was crap.
You done the
but I just
Roach.
did it anyway.
I like it.
I like the Roach. Do I like the Roach? Reminders of childhood.
No, anything that's like reminds you of like Last Resort.
I love Pete
Yeah.
Roach. I'm gonna even sound even worse by calling him P Roach.
P Roach.
P Roach, P Daddy.
I once
And
was.
if it was Jennifer Lopez, it would be P Roll.
I had tickets to see Pat Roach at Northumbria University.
What happened?
When I was 15, I fell off a bus stop and broke my elbow.
Oh, no.
So I couldn't go.
Could you not have went with a broken elbow?
No, I spent the whole. So I fell off the bus stop and broke my elbow, and then I went home, and I was too afraid to tell me mum because we were having a family tea. So I sat for hours with a broken elbow, and then like when all my family went home, I went to my mum like I think I broke my elbow, and I had. And I couldn't go to the Pat Roach concert.
That's a Mark when he.
Hell, one of life's biggest regrets.
Honestly, Mark when he was younger was nothing like Mark now. Like the complete polar opposite of what he is now.
So now he overthinks things quite a lot. So did he not used to think
He was wild. Wild's probably the easiest way to describe him.
I don't know what happened.
So you'll probably not agree with this.
I went different before that.
You'll probably not agree with.
he had a change in gimmick?
This was
Turn heel.
Turn heel.
first time my brother ever met Mark was at Cubs, and you'll probably not say this happened, but it definitely happened. So my brother came in because my mum was our Kayla, the leader, and my brother was like I've got an older brother, and he was helping bring the tuck shop stuff in. Favorite time, tuck shop.
I see your brother all the time.
Yeah, and kids and that.
Kids
and and he came in, and Mark was just wild, and we just run and jumped on him, and he was on top of him, just being like, "Wah!" First memory of Mark, and I was like, that sums up Mark as a kid, basically.
Wow.
And now he's the most reserved man in the world.
I don't know what happened.
Where did all the fun go?
I'm going to quickly breeze over my thoughts because I'm starting to need a wee.
Don't breeze over your thoughts. Come here. Do you want to pause and go for a wee and then we'll come back?
Nah.
Well, you can pause.
Yeah, I feel like we've got a good flow
you can
going
pause.
on. No, go on. I'm going to go for it.
You want a good flow, you diddler.
I'm going to go for it, right? I've been thinking a lot. Like, so Neville left, yeah? Neville left.
Oh, Neville, man.
Oh, yeah, man, Neville. So he's walking
I was
out.
sad about that.
Mate, I'm still sad.
And I saw a little...
We might get a chance to see him now.
We might, though. That's exciting. So the Young Bucks posted a picture of a Bullet Club t-shirt and said, "You're welcome," or whatever.
Hot
they did.
stuff.
And I've started thinking, are Bullet Club a bigger brand than anything outside of WWE? Are they a bigger brand than TNA? Are Bullet Club a bigger brand than Ring of Honor? Are Bullet Club a bigger brand than New Japan Wrestling? Are Bullet Club WWE's biggest rival at the minute?
Yes. I
don't think they're a rival because I don't think it's like a rival
think
at all.
even-
But I think it's the biggest brand.
Indie wrestling boom, like, is the biggest rival at the minute because there's so much like a combination of smaller wrestling promotions are now starting to rival WWE because people are now starting to leave WWE for the indie promotions because Cody Rhodes has shown that you can make big money. The Young Bucks are proving that they can make big money.
And
you
arguably
don't have to be tied down.
They make more money than anyone, I think.
Arguably, WWE don't have the best wrestler in the world as well.
No, they do not have Kenny Omega.
I mean, like, best wrestler in the world is objective, but I think the majority of people would say that they think he is the best in the world.
Did you see that he basically was in the developmental as
Yeah,
well and
you
all
would
that
have had him.
and it's kind of like but they didn't want him to be Kenny Omega. They
I
kind
don't
of
think.
stripped
I
him
mean,
back.
like, he gets massive heat off actual old school wrestling people for not being that great. But if you watch his matches, and it is a lot of spots, it's a lot of like diving around. Bloody exciting matches though. Like,
but it's what
I think he's great.
We've talked about that loads. Like, wrestling's moved on. Like, kind of these older guys who are saying, it needs to be more about psychology than spots.
Yeah.
It's like the kids want to the people hate Jinder, even though he's a really sound old school heel. Because people don't want to see people ground down with chin locks. They want to see.
they want to see flips and
They wanna
spins.
see
and
flips.
I think Kenny does that in the perfect mix though. I think he does have psychology.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like, because a lot of people complain like there was this amazing match that was in Australia with Ospreay and a few of them, and they literally were doing like 30 spots in the match, and they were like, it's too much. Like it's amazing, but it's too much. Whereas I think Kenny has the right amount. Like, I think he clearly knows what he's doing.
And I think they've got a good mix with the whole being the elite thing and stuff like that. And I think the way they are together as a group, they've got a good mix of humour, without being an absolute joke, but also like really good wrestler people as well. Like they've got the attitude, they've got the attitude era attitude sort of thing, which is
I think
making
even cooler than
Well, I
that.
was
though.
gonna say they're just so cool outside of WWE. Like and when
Attitude
they've done
era has
that-
aged a bit now.
but when they've done the whole invasion thing, it was really funny again. They made it fresh again, and yeah, it was totally pissing all over what DX did, and it probably put them in a really bad position because now they're gonna get sued if they ever do Too Sweet again.
Yeah.
Which is like, but
that
it
even
got them
to-
so much. I think
They're
right?
turning that into a thing. Not
But I
being able
think-
to do the Too Sweet, they're turning that into a thing.
They've
They're
lost
really good
so
at doing
many
that,
big
aren't they?
members, Bullet Club, right? So they lose Finn Balor, they get AJ, they lose AJ, Gallows and Anderson, they get Adam Cole, they lose Adam Cole, they get Cody Rhodes. It seems like every time they lose that big main player, somebody else comes in, and I think this version of Bullet Club is probably the most popular.
Do you think
and
someone will
well-known
get kicked
at the
out for
minute.
Neville? And Neville become massive?
I think
I would love that. To be
there's
honest,
got to
just
be
kind of
big
Neville.
money in being in Bullet Club. Like
Neville showed,
t-shirts alone, like sales.
Neville
must
showed
be-
that no personality for ages, and then suddenly, like, best heel in
You
the
could
company.
see him in Bullet
arguably.
Club.
I can't remember where I read it, but it was. Did you see how they were at WrestleMania either last year or the year before, and there was Hot Topic representative turned up, and we talked about Hot Topic loads today. haven't
Hot
we?
Topic is the
God,
stuff
let's
that
get a
we don't
sponsors-
have in
let's
England,
get-
and we
let's
need
get a
we need
sponsorship.
a Hot
You would
Topic.
just have all of the Bullet Club
I would
t-shirts.
just
I
be
bought one.
in there constantly.
Yeah, I bought the Bullet Club / Tekken one.
I got. Did you
I
get
would-
that one? That
yeah,
was
yeah.
cool. That I've got
Yeah,
the
I was
actual
gonna wait
Bullet
labour
Club
for that.
one, and I've got the Villain Club one, and I've got the Bullet Club Rising one.
This isn't that interesting, but I'm kind of decide when we go Defiant in December. Is it Defiant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether I get a Villain Club t-shirt or I quite want a Jimmy Havoc, Die Havoc Die t-shirt.
I would save you pennies and get both.
Both.
I'll just wear your own WrestleFriends t-shirt, soon to be available.
Well, we could wear them for the
In
event.
Hot Topic.
in Hot Topic, in a Hot Topic not near you. But we should wear our t-shirts for the event and then get buy t-shirts there.
But
Sounds
yeah,
like
so
fun.
anyway, so WrestleMania, Hot Topic, went to one of the chief people in WWE and were kind of like, oh, really, like, we want to sell a Bullet Club t-shirts, can we sell them? And they were like, yeah, we don't sell them, because it's literally the only thing we don't control.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, that's all we want. Sorry.
So then there's a massive deal
Yeah.
that they're not part
Yeah,
of.
and that's how Bullet Club got on Hot Topic, because it came almost like a rumor thing that they were like, oh, Hot Topic were like didn't want any WWE at all. They just wanted Bullet Club.
Yeah.
So Bullet Club were like, yeah.
And this is why Vince has such a big problem with it, is that the Bucks, Omega, like Rhodes, if he decides to come back, Hangman Page, like even like Farley, whoever, like they now can say, this is the price, this is my price.
It's
He cannot
awesome.
he cannot lowball those guys, can he?
I just think they've got
Too much power.
they've brought the control back to the guys outside of WWE. They've brought that back, and it's massive for the guys. It'll help everyone outside of WWE.
More
And
people
it's-
have got to be thinking, I'm just going to... Like, we were talking about the UK guys, they're on retainers, so they're not actually
contracted,
WWE contracted. Yet they say, right, we're going to give you X amount of thousands. You can't work these 10 dates because you're working for us, but you can still have your... Because, like, Pete Dunne's got his big cartel page and stuff.
Yeah.
You can still sell all your own stuff. That's got to be the perfect position to be in.
Listening
Yeah.
to Cody Rhodes on
That's where I stole it from.
Jericho's podcast, and he thinks that there is something bubbling away, sort of like WCW style, but not like one sort of company.
Like,
You've got that.
yeah.
It's just going to be like an
The
indie
indies,
boom, and it's
yeah.
going to be massive. And I personally go to an indie show. I enjoy it more than going to a WWE
totally.
show, because you're up close, you're personal, you get to meet the wrestlers all the time.
Even at the
afterwards,
Academy, which
and
is
like,
a big
uh-huh.
venue.
and you've got the chance to meet your favourite wrestlers, and like Jake was over the moon, he met Marty Scurll, you know what I mean, and like it was a massive deal for him, you know. It's such a better experience with us going to the big arena, being overcharged for everything. It was £2 a pint when I went to see WCPW.
That's cheap for the Academy, so they must have a deal.
It wasn't in the Academy, it was at Northumbria University.
Northumbria?
Yeah, so it was like
That's
really, it was
only up north you get cheap deals like that.
dirt cheap. Up close and personal, just a much better experience than going to the arena. and
Would you
watching
go as
WWE.
far as say, with all this, the Bullet Club, indie wrestling the way it is, do you think there's a slight little bit of a threat to WWE there?
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And I think that's what Cody was saying. There's something coming. So you've got Nia Jax now leaving.
Is she gone?
She's
Well,
apparently she's gone, but
And
she's
that's
using
somebody with massive ties
she's
as well.
using the Rock as leverage, though. Apparently, at the minute, to get more money. I think that's what our problem is. Or what I've heard.
Alexa Bliss has came out and basically said that
She could
doesn't-
clean up in Japan.
She doesn't think she has, because Alexa Bliss is apparently a real life best friend.
Yeah.
And she's basically saying, like, I think it's going to be resolved.
Well,
So-
she's using the Rock as leverage, isn't she? For,
It's not a bad person to use as leverage.
But I think they're starting to see now that they can do it. And apparently, Cody, I read somewhere that Cody's been approached by several WWE roster guys to see how we done it and like ask questions about.
And this
still
is the
find that
thing,
really weird.
so many people are going to be thinking, like you said, and that's the threat, isn't it? They're going to be thinking, how can I make this money? But then, are these people only making the money because there's only about 10 of them who are operating this way? If you then flooded it with 20 people who aren't maybe as good, would it work as well?
I don't think not everyone can do what there's there'll be too many. It'll just become WWE in that way, but it'll be worse because they'll be making less. I think it's just this.
And the thing is, though, with WWE, you're all going in one direction.
Yeah.
Whereas
I
with
think
there's going to be more people out for themselves.
For now, though, it's going to give them a kick up the arse, maybe.
Yeah, I
For
think
now,
they'll
and
have
that's probably why we are getting a little bit edgier storylines in WWE at the minute, like slightly edgier. And you've got to wonder if that's playing partner.
I hope so. I hope it really does influence them, because it's for the better for the fans at the end of the day.
Another way of making money, moving seamlessly on, is by bringing Funko Pop figures out, which Bullet Club are also doing as well. So
No way.
we're going to get
Just-
Bullet Club Funko Pops. Yeah, I think there might be Hot Topic exclusives, but you're bound to be able to pick one up.
Well, you can get them
You're
online.
gonna
You can get them online.
aren't you?
I'm going to want every single one of them.
I
I'll
love
buy
it.
them for Jake, so I inherit them when he gets older.
I love a pop Funko.
I've got good collection.
We went to
going
a
on.
shop, or you probably heard it on the podcast, in Exeter. There was,
Yeah.
were we in Exeter?
No, we're in Wolverhampton.
we went
Wolverhampton.
next to that.
Wolverhampton,
Nothing
yeah,
was in
me and you
Exeter.
were.
It was just
there was
shit.
thousands of them, literally.
I love it.
It was the best collection of Funko Pops I've ever seen in a shop.
Apparently there's a superstore, a Forbidden Planet superstore in either Western Supermare or Bristol around there, and it's like the biggest one, and apparently there's like thousands and thousands and thousands
It's
of
a
them.
dream, that, like.
So
I just want to interject quickly, nothing to do with anything. The next Fashion Files is going to be called Stranger Things.
Oh, brilliant.
Is that because the new Stranger Things?
Looking forward to the new
Stranger
Stranger
Around.
Things.
like they
Yeah, me too.
keeping it current with the fashion files, aren't they? They know what they're doing.
So the 27th, so it's 2 days away, innit?
I thought it was the 27th when
They're releasing it
actually
as a
was
full season as well.
Yeah, no, they're releasing it a couple of days earlier than we thought
out.
they were
So
going
it's today, then, the
27th.
20th?
No,
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not the 27th.
no,
is
it's 25th today.
I don't want to.
I mean, when you go on Netflix,
season
when you
though,
go on
innit?
Netflix to watch something else, the thing comes at the top,
Yeah.
and it's like a counter.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Fraser, have you ever noticed green T-shirt guy?
I have now, after watching the
I thought, go and
podcast.
see it.
I'd just like to point out that there's another guy who's always there as well. So I don't know if you've ever noticed him before. He's very skinny. He's got long hair, long brown hair. He wears a white shirt and a skinny tie, and
Is he always there?
he's always there.
White,
I've
so
noticed him.
can we call him white shirt, skinny tie man?
Skinny tie, long hair man.
What about Tie Guy?
Tie guy?
Tie guy? Oh yes, tie guy.
Did you and Jake spot him?
I spotted him, told Jake about it, and he realised that.
You
this
know
was a
how when
thing.
we searched green t-shirt man, he came up?
Uh-huh.
Does tie guy come up?
I haven't googled him, but we'll have a Google later. I also just wrote to sum him up. Looks like a nerd. Yeah.
We all
no?
look like
I mean,
nerds.
You
Actually,
don't like nerds. No.
Wrestling fans are nerds.
A little
We're
point-
all nerds.
Yeah, we're nerds.
a little
but-
point with that, like, remember the Bailey girl? How she's like on the main roster now, like the little girl that was always at every NXT and giving like a hug to Bailey. She's like on the main roster and she's quite often at the thing.
Yeah.
With Bailey getting a bit of like a negative Bailey thing because people are bored of it. Like, kind of feel sorry for her getting all these free shows now.
Yeah.
Moving
People
on.
might be shitting on her because she's like dressed as Bailey.
Yeah.
What's she called? What's her name? I can't remember.
What, the little girl?
Yeah.
Do you know her name? Best friends.
Well, now they used to say her name on every episode.
I did.
Bailey girl.
I had a
Bailey girl?
I had a sandwich when I had it.
Sap.
I didn't.
Face
I
Grace.
like women's wrestling.
Speaking of women's wrestling,
Not a sexist like Dave.
Nikki Cross has mental sanity music. Have you noticed?
Yeah, I was
Speaking of music that we spoke of ages ago,
Nikki Cross's
I
sanity
love the
music
title.
is better than the sanity music.
it's mental, innit? Loads of mental screaming and stuff.
It's better than the sanity music.
It's the only thing I've noticed about women's wrestling
is
for a
more
long,
men-
long time.
She is more mental than the rest of them, to be fair, I think.
So do you like it?
I like
Nikki
it.
Cross's
just
music.
wanted to know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would.
right.
I like it better than the sanity music.
I think they should all have that.
Yeah, it's like
What's your favourite wrestle snack?
When I'm watching this wrestling?
Yeah. Because I was sitting
stand-up?
watching.
Oh.
So I finally got around to watching Hell in a Cell, right? So it took us ages to watch the actual Hell in a Cell match. Which, by the way, that I thought Shane versus Owens was one of my favourite Hell in a Cell matches for a very long time.
Too much of big gaps between things I found.
What?
Like when Owens was on top of the cage and he was like faking to jump off and stuff,
Yeah.
like being a heel. I thought that was a little bit too long.
Yeah, I'm still good.
Just nitpicking.
yeah,
have you
loved
only
it.
watched it recently?
Not long ago. I had this ready for last week though, and we didn't do. But whilst I was watching Hell in a Cell, I had pizza, crisps, and Dr Pepper as
That's a good
a
mixture.
snack. And I
That's
thought
not
to
a
myself,
snack, that's a meal.
I thought to myself, I wonder what everyone else likes to eat whilst watching wrestling.
Well, my loadout usually is a hot dog sandwich or two,
Hot dog sandwich.
whole tin of hot dogs in a baguette. So 8 hot dogs in a baguette with cheese and ketchup. Pringles.
Wow.
Have you ever had toffee before?
Toffee, aye.
Oh,
Toffee, fizzy water. So I'm trying not to drink as much pop because I was addicted to it for a while and it was giving us headaches.
I remember when you came off that.
But
Did he sit with his head on the table?
I change
So
my
deep.
snacks every now and then to different pasties.
Ooh, aye.
Pizza, like Asda pizza.
Asda pizza,
But
counter
I like
pizza.
to get Asda pizza, a meat feast, then chop up peppers and
Put your
sweet
own
corn
on.
and extra cheese.
I do
as
that
well.
with jalapenos as well. So I get that. I get double spicy chicken and double spicy beef, and then get my own jalapenos to put on.
Do you also have double concentrated orange juice as well? Just
Double everything. Double sausage and egg
Fraser,
McMuffin
what's
meal.
yours?
Well, I realised that I don't probably take each show as seriously as you guys because you just have to like analyse it. So I can
Just me,
understand.
really,
I
just
can, I
me.
can understand why you've got full-on meals. I usually just have crisps or something.
Crisps. What's your favourite?
Actually, not crisps. It's too loud. I don't like having loud things when I'm watching
Rustling.
something I like. So probably more
You
like.
could put them in a bowl.
Well, I don't know if that makes it louder.
You know,
Crunching.
like
The echo?
Tyler Bate and
Tyler
Pete-
Bay.
Pete
Did you
Bate.
just make that really
Tyler
cool
Bate.
and modern?
Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, and Trent Seven, how they're vegans. They
Are
must
they?
have shit wrestling snacks.
Oh,
But
love a carrot
we
stick.
discussed. I don't think you can be a real vegan because of beer.
But that's
I know you
that's,
can get vegan beer.
that's picky.
You can get vegan beer.
The reason people
Can you?
don't think
Yeah, yeah.
beer is vegan isn't vegan is because some beers are filtered through like fish innards. But they'll be vegan.
No.
beer.
Fun fact.
But Foster's won't be vegan beer.
There's have you ever heard of Samuel Smiths before?
Yeah.
They do vegan.
Class beers.
They do vegan beer, cider, and lager.
Mead.
Yeah. So do you know Coleman's, the best UK chip shop, and where
No,
we're
you'd have to
currently
get
based?
Coleman's in there.
Love Coleman's. They sell vegan stuff. Because vegans love fish and chips. Apparently, they don't like fish, obviously, but they love chips because they can't eat real food. Shocker. But yeah, Samuel Smiths is the brother of John Smith, who's also a famous.
No, he's
beer-
not.
He is. The
Really?
old brothers. Yeah.
Fun
True
fact.
story.
One of them went down the commercial route and the other
Well,
one went down.
they work together and they
Like the
fell
hot
out.
dog shop, innit?
There's a
Yeah,
class-
it is
there's a
exactly. I love it when it comes back around full circle.
There's a class Sam Smith's pub on the bridge in Durham.
Is that?
It's from Yorkshire because they have the white rose of York. Oh, I don't know if it's York.
Anyway,
or
this
somewhere in
isn't
York.
Do you ever drink
wrestling.
alcohol whilst watching wrestling?
No.
Never.
I've
See,
tried that
what I
once.
do, right?
I tried that once in Wolverhampton, didn't work out too
No,
well.
I mean
did
like
it?
on the telly.
Right,
Because
well,
sometimes,
I don't.
I'll never drink whilst watching like a new one. But if I go back, like
Oh,
say it's
then you
late
can have
on
a
a
drink.
Saturday night, and I'm having a Jack Daniels, I sometimes like to watch a classic pay per view
Yeah,
with
that
a drink.
Yeah, that's I
I don't. I don't drink.
Interesting.
So
I tend
it
not
doesn't
to
work for
drink
me
at home.
regardless.
Don't drink at home. Right, moving on. New UK show is apparently going to be called King of the Ring.
to give it a little bit of like.
Are they going to
people
make
know
a
the
UK
name.
show?
Apparently they're going to make a UK show, and it's going to be called King of the Ring.
I hope so.
They've
We
been
were speaking
wanting
about
to
this
do it.
before, weren't we? Because they wanted to do it, and there was rumours that they hadn't made as much money this year, so they cut loads of stuff back, and the UK was one of them, even though it's like the best. Like, it's definitely one thing that they should do more, isn't it? Because every time they're on the show, the UK guys, it's just
I think it's almost they're too good. That takeover where Bate and Dunn wrestled,
best match of the
everything
year.
else was
Yeah.
shit.
Best match of the year.
That
And,
was my favourite match of the year. That like.
And like, bear in mind, they wrestle each
So they
other.
got their own show. They don't have to. But like, and it's the same as what we talked about before. You hire them all a retainer. You keep them for 10 dates of the year, all your recordings, and then they can do their own thing.
Like, bear in mind, they probably wrestle each other every week, which some people would say that makes them more
Or their
chemistry.
partners.
But like, to me, it must be hard to keep it fresh every week, and somehow they managed to pull that match out. Like, that's even more impressive for me.
I like the idea of the name. People are going to recognise the name, and they're going to
Watch it.
I mean, the people are going to watch it anyway, and it's a good name. So would it literally go, Dunn's a champion, off we go, this is the roster, it's called King of the Ring?
Unless they've done a King of the Ring style tournament to see who was number one contender, and then took it from there. That would be
King
cool.
of the Ring style tournament for number one contender in the Cruiserweight Classic, Mae Young's Classic.
Like it.
I'll have that.
It got me thinking about Survivor Series and how much I think it's shit.
British Strong Style at Survivor Series?
I would love to see Survivor Series replaced by King of the Ring, and like they have SmackDown on one side, Raw on the other, and then like
they did King of the Ring.
And then
they did King of the Ring as a.
They have to fight for who's King of WWE.
SmackDown and Raw.
They did a King of the Ring mini special on the network a couple of years ago. That Bad News Barrett one, because that's how he was King
that's
Barrett.
how he was King Barrett.
But not. It wasn't a thing to the extent of what you're talking about. But I would be game for that. Raw versus SmackDown King of the Ring.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
That would change it up. That'd be good.
What
for
do
the
you
next
think?
change up
Quick,
Raw.
so shall we quickly do TLC and quickly do what we think Survivor Series?
Quickly, because I
So
need a wee.
TLC was mental. Everything was all over the place, but I kind of enjoyed it.
My favourite one in a while, just because it was like that. I think.
It was really good because of the change, the
Main event.
last minute. I'm gonna hide me phone from you. The last minute changes, I think, made it more interesting. Like I say, I think the Pumpkin versus the Man in Drag was career suicide. They needed to put that for both guys. I don't think they would have recovered fully from that.
I think Finn would always be fine, but I think it's because he looks cool regardless. I think Finn. I just think Bray is it's too much.
I liked Asuka's debut. I
Yeah,
liked how they
was
gave
good.
it Emma a good match.
I thought Emma it's one of the first times she's actually been able to shine in a while.
That's how interesting Asuka is, right? Because I actually watched that match and like
Hold the press.
stop the press. Oh, hold the phone.
Hold the sandwich.
The sandwich can stay firmly on the table.
Any other thoughts on TLC?
On TLC, I thought Kurt Angle looked like the Shield's embarrassing dad.
Yeah.
It was as if like
There was a meme.
you know when your dad might go to the nightclub and he tries to dress a bit young. Yeah.
Was
There was a thing on the internet.
the crowd and he was like cheesy grin at the end. He was like, yeah.
There was a thing on the internet where it was like when you're more bothered about trick or treating than your kids.
I think they should have saved Kurt Angle for a singles match. It deserved more.
It did, but at the same time, I think it was still awesome.
It was a good way to ease him back in, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it was.
Apparently, he'd only been cleared like the day before Roman got pulled. So
We're gonna get another
Coincidence.
angle
I
match.
think not.
We're gonna get another angle match.
I would like to see. I thought I would have loved to have seen the Shield sort of like turn on him or something like that, because obviously you got the WWE 2K18 advert which suggested a Seth versus Kurt Angle match in future, and I would like to actually see that match.
I still think they're gonna do Daniel Bryan, Kurt Angle.
Daniel Bryan's starting to sort of like
He keeps
heavily hint towards coming back, and he also
If Kurt can get cleared,
I don't even think he's hinting. He's literally just saying like,
I'm gonna leave if
I'm waiting until you contract.
imagine the amount of money he could make.
Yeah, he'd be big money, and he's already started a Bullet Club sort of feud on Twitter as well. They're all
He's
like,
clever.
wanting
That's
him.
clever.
Do you want us to pause this while you urinate, and then we can do?
No, I'm okay.
So we quickly do Survivor Series. How do you feel about this Raw versus SmackDown stuff? All
Right.
the matches are Raw versus SmackDown.
The
aren't they?
invasion I thought was stupid because it made every SmackDown superstar look like a heel, including people that your kids are meant to love, like the New Day, and it made them all look like bullies. And they should have just had maybe a few heels come in, like Baron Corbin and like
Just the heels.
just the Rusev, just a couple of bad
They
guys.
haven't got
AJ
enough heels
Styles.
though. That's why they couldn't have done that because
I
there two of
thought
them.
you would think that it was messy because AJ Styles was acting like a heel
And Chad
so-
Gable.
and Chad
I did
Gable,
think
yeah.
it was messy.
He was like,
There was too much going on for us to really. Gable jumping on Jordan was the best thing about it.
It was messy
mean,
though, wasn't it?
Messy's fun.
I think.
But the TLC main event was the messiest thing ever.
Yeah, it was. But
I
I had a different thought to the way Dave thought, but I thought it was good. Just mainly because of the reason that Raw has a far superior roster if it comes to one versus the other. That SmackDown, they had to
They're
do
gonna
something.
hit them hard though, aren't they? After like
They had to do something to make SmackDown look slightly better.
And-
just because Raw have Strowman.
You have to have a heel.
but it was messy having
You have to have a heel though. You can't not have heels.
AJ fighting
I
with the
agree
Shield,
with that.
and then 2 minutes later he's fighting against the Shield.
But AJ,
After they've just held each other's arms up.
AJ can do what he wants. when he wants.
Flying in from Chile.
Chile.
So yeah,
Minus.
I hope, once again, I know I've already said it, but I hope Mahal beats Lesnar. It's so good.
If Lesnar lets them do that,
But he'll let him do it if it's screwy. Like, if he doesn't look weak.
I don't think Lesnar would want to do that at all.
I don't think Lesnar will put him over.
No, I think he'd refuse.
Are we excited to watch it because of this weirdness? Nobody thought he was going to be champion, yet he was.
I'm actually surprised they're even doing the match.
I'm not excited for the match at all. I don't think Lesnar will go over for someone like Jinder Mahal.
I don't think at all. I think the only way they'll
I
do
don't
it is if
think
they
they'll
screw
be
him
able to
over.
pay him enough money in the world to go over to Jinder Mahal. It won't happen.
I'm saying it's going to happen.
I'm saying you're wrong.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Okay. So,
That was quite extensive. We're up to an hour and 3/4.
do you want to just quickly go into poems then?
Yes.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Go first.
You go first.
Just lovely little mic bit there, Mark. I'll go first.
You just
Just
have to
go
skip
past-
through 6 months of NXT write-ups.
So, my wrestle poem is called Because Wrestling. So, I think
To WrestleFriends saying, isn't it?
anything that happens in wrestling, you can just answer the question with Because Wrestling. It's the most random format of art you can get. It's almost abstract in a lot of ways. Like, nothing needs to make sense.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's
So,
soft.
It is.
Kurt Angle replaces Roman Reigns in the Shield because wrestling. The Bar are not introduced as the Bar, even though they have the bar on their trunks because wrestling. Finn Balor is a loser, but the Demon is a winner because wrestling. Jack Gallagher is now a baddie, so wrestles in a suit because wrestling. Bray Wyatt is a god, but is taken out by a viral infection because wrestling. The Miz owns a bin lorry because wrestling. Braun Strowman can't be killed by an ambulance crash or being crushed by a bin because wrestling. Kane is now getting a main event push in 2017 because wrestling. This is how things are answered in wrestling because wrestling.
I like that because you tied up any loose ends that we talked about.
I like it because it almost makes you feel like this is a mockery, but you do love it at the same time.
If we haven't covered anything on the podcast, it's because wrestling.
I enjoyed that.
Wrestling is everything.
It was good, that. Enjoyed it. That's probably one of your best ones. Best work.
Good work.
Best work award.
I think it was more wrestle thoughts.
I did that.
That's how your wrestle thoughts should be.
Yeah, not NXT driven.
I think we should have a segment. We should add a segment every week where
because wrestling.
every, like me, you, Jake, or whoever's on, chooses from all wrestling. So NXT, Indy scene, WWE, whatever. One because wrestling moment.
Okay. I'm up for that.
New segment.
New segment. Hey,
What?
Fraser, do you want to do your poem?
Go on then. Let's get my phone out again because I'm all digital. You know that.
Digital.
Here we go. So a little bit of what my poem's about. It's about how I miss the hardcore matches on wrestling. And yeah, just because it's more PC and stuff, and I do miss a good old chair shot every now and then. I know
I'm
it's
with
not
you,
like
man. I want to see death matches.
Yeah, I don't want to see death matches. I'm
Death
not like
matches is going too far.
yeah.
Just
I'm
a
not,
hardcore match
Well,
would be good.
I say I want to see death matches. I can see them because I watch them.
I just miss a good
But you
old
know.
There's a
Steve
good
Blackman
few,
versus
like,
Raven. You know,
chair shots at TLC. Like that's what they came out with. A hell of a lot of chair shots.
Back chair shots. Not in the nougat.
Not to the head.
so yeah, I miss a bit of Steve Blackman versus Raven kind of nonsense violence sometimes. So this is a bit of a shout out to Matt. So what I've done is I've kind of adapted a famous poem by Edgar Allan Poe called "Quote the Raven," and this is just called
Nevermore.
this is just called "Quote Raven."
Nice.
Nice.
Here we go. I'm not very good at English literature, so I'm probably going to do this very badly. Here we go. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over the lack of hardcore violence and gore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping. 'Twas Raven banging a chair against the floor. Who was this, I muttered, putting thumbtacks on the floor. Quote Raven, nevermore. Distinctly I remember it was in bleak December, the silence of no more chairs, kendo sticks or steel floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow to take away my sorrow, the hardcore would follow to save the show. Although I hope it was now gone, so has the show. Quote Raven, nevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to the still beating of my heart I stood repeating, 'tis some visitor entreating entrance to the forgotten wrestling floor. Who is this, come to save and own the wrestling hardcore floor? Quote Raven, Jimmy Havoc.
Nice.
Oh,
So, yeah.
nice.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you use a real life poem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like probably the best poem. That's
That's
because most of it was written by Edgar Allan Poe. I just
like
added
how-
things like chairs.
I really like that poem as well.
Floor.
Yeah.
I like how it's like you've invented a scenario where it's like Jimmy Havoc versus Raven. Was that what was that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I basically the whole thing is I'm a big fan of Jimmy Havoc in what he's about.
He's the man.
And I think he's the one that could bring it back in some way to a main event, not necessarily in WWE, but like NXT.
King of the Ring.
We were talking about this outside of Greg's.
Yeah.
Like we see Jimmy Havoc as more NXT than UK Championship.
Cause he's more badass and cool in that way.
Whereas like the UK Championship guys are more like old school wrestlers like Finlay and Regal,
Yeah.
like proper wrestlers, whereas he's like
We just
A
need a bit. We
character.
just need a bit of grit, don't we? Back.
I just miss a chair shot every now and then. I think he's the one that can make it actually. I hate saying cool again.
I used to
but
like it when they used to do a hardcore match and they used to end up like outside and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And, like
Crash-
throwing each other
crash
in a
hardcore
river and stuff like
24
that.
hours.
Mankind was one of the biggest characters of our teenage years, like in wrestling, and it can happen again.
But this. I know it's just a quick side note. Sorry, I know you've got your wrestling poem, but I like the 24-hour hardcore thing.
Yeah,
and
that
it
was
made someone
cool.
like Crash
That was.
awesome
Yeah.
somehow.
It's almost like the Fashion Files, wasn't it? It's
Yeah.
like
but it was so
A
good.
side thing.
Yeah.
that
And
was
I
happening all
thought,
the time.
imagine if Jimmy had the 24/7 hardcore title, right? You could social media. You could just randomly do it at like King's Cross Station.
Well, that's
and
the thing. We
film
didn't
it
have
on
social
mobile.
media. We didn't have social media.
How cool would that be? Like literally, how cool would that be? Jimmy could
well,
go anywhere and boom.
In this day and age with the network, like, surely it's possible to have a hardcore.
You could have a 30-minute show, a hardcore 24-hour, 24/7 belt show, where, like you say, it's all shaky cam and like things from Twitter and Facebook and stuff
Yep.
like that.
I just think, yeah, that's
Vince needs to start
Book it,
listening to
Vince.
us, doesn't
so.
he?
That's my answer to the missing hardcore elements of today's wrestling.
Would
Jimmy,
Jimmy wrestle on the main show as well as having this little show?
It's the Jimmy Show.
yeah,
Oh, we're
Jimmy
talking about-
Shaw.
You've got to say it in like a jazz hands kind of way. Jimmy Shaw.
Yeah, I think you could. I think adding the hardcore element to a title could revolutionise a bit of the new era again, because they're starting to get a bit more hardcore just recently with the whole SmackDown thing. What Dave was saying, like
Because of outside indie promotions getting big.
But I think adding a hardcore, not necessarily hardcore title, just adding an element to it more. Because at the minute, like it seems like they're trying to make things better just by adding.
Bring back
Like
hardcore
things-
matches and just have them be hardcore instead of just hitting each other with kendo
Or
sticks.
have
Yeah.
blood in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, you love a bit of blood. You get a little.
It's a Crimson Mask.
I love a crimson mask.
Oh, I should have put
Yeah,
that.
we
in
don't, yeah.
I was trying to get that in my poem, but I forgot.
Can I quickly do my poem before I wet my pants? It's called "Don't Go Neville."
Oh, didn't go Neville.
Don't
man.
go Neville. I'm just gonna. It's quite short, so. Don't go Neville, man. Why does it sound more?
You've got to say. You've got to do it to Geordie.
It's like by a Grove.
Don't go Neville, man. I know you're canny mad. I would be too after that belt I hear you had. Is it really over? Have you really gone? 205 won't be the same. You were number one. It feels really sad, like when Jeff died in the Grove. When you hit the Indies, they'll come out in their droves. They'll buy all your t-shirts, get photos with you. Best of luck, Neville, in all that you do.
Ah, that was lovely.
Yeah, that
deserves a clap, that one.
Your poems are really good.
do you reckon? I put a lot of
I
thought
think,
in.
I think you should tweet that one.
Do you reckon?
He's quite an intellectual guy as well.
I like to always try and
But it-
get Jeff from Baker Grove into me poems. So
one of the first conversations we ever had was about Jeff from
from Baker Grove, was it? I might be a little bit obsessed with Jeff.
I'm really excited that we might get the chance to see Neville on the Indies though.
How fun would it be if we managed to get Jeff on the podcast?
Another
Is the actor still alive?
Yeah.
Another reason why I
don't
like
know that
Neville
for
is
sure.
because it was the first time I saw Alistair Black. And when they did it on the UK on the UK Championship on the it was he fought him.
That was a good match. It was called Tommy End though. It was before he was called.
He was Tommy End in that match,
and I really enjoyed it. And I was like that guy. And then thank God he got brought up.
God, there'd be so many Defiant shows in Newcastle if he's
I
wow.
see him in
Indies,
Japan,
like-
but in the Bullet Club. But then
I see him
like
everywhere.
when we saw Squirrel and Cody Rhodes as being across and stuff like that.
I could definitely see a Bullet Club future for Neville.
Oh, I could just see him in my dreams everywhere, wherever he wants to go. Neville.
This was a good episode, isn't it?
It's been really good. I've enjoyed having Fraser here. I think he added a nice little freshness.
We're going to interview him as well.
We're going to hang fire.
It's not
Hold on
really
to
an
your
interview.
butts.
It's more of a random question.
That's what interview.
Mark's got an app on his phone which randomises the
I love
questions.
the
So basically, it's Fraser with an app.
Yes.
Sounds what it's going to be.
Frap.
We haven't done the Gonzalez
I'll have a
Award,
frappuccino.
guys. Is
Shall we
there
do
anybody utterly shit that you would like to put
We've
in the
talked about a
Gonzalez
lot.
Award this week?
We've talked about a lot.
We'll have. Oh,
What's really upset you?
what's upset me?
Yeah.
Not
Kane.
much today.
You wanted to put
I
Kane
don't
in.
want to put.
I
Kane
want to
in.
put Kane in.
I don't want to put Kane
I like
in,
Kane
no.
too
I'm
much.
putting Kane. Right. I'm.
Oh,
putting
I know
for-
what we should do. The viral infection.
The
Yeah.
viral infection.
Because literally just destroyed the entire.
So
plan.
I think I would prefer
Can
the
we
match
put
to be the
Pumpkin
way it
Finn?
was.
Yeah, I
Pumpkin
do.
Finn in.
We
And
didn't get
Oh,
some.
Sister Abigail.
Can we put Sister Abigail in as well?
Yes.
In
So-
fact, can we put the whole Bray Wyatt Finn Balor feud in?
This is like Room
Yeah.
101. This isn't it? It's like we're
Let's
just.
put Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt feuding, lest it never happen
Let-
again.
Let it never rear
I
its
don't want. I
ugly
don't want,
head.
Finn, I don't want Finn to be in there because it's not his fault.
It's the feud. It's
We're
the
not
feud
putting
that's
Finn in.
there.
We're putting
Can we
the
just say
feud.
Sister Abigail? Can we just say that? Because that's what started making us shit.
Because we don't hate the demon,
We don't hate.
No, we don't hate
we're not
Finn
a big
at
fan
all.
of the demon,
but Finn Balor always loses though.
I know. He doesn't
The
always.
demon doesn't.
He doesn't always lose.
He lost to Kane, who's shit.
Aye, but
the demon beat Bray
Get over
though.
it.
Bray never won ever.
nah.
Bray needs to go in.
Bray never wins any
Right,
feud.
let's put Bray Wyatt in,
And Sister Abigail, please.
or just no, not Bray Wyatt, Sister Abigail. She'll go
Yes.
Fraser because he's the guest.
Go on, then you get to choose.
Sister Abigail,
Sister,
and-
come on.
yeah. I like you.
right in there with the
Don't hate
Eelies. In there with the Eelies.
Eely feely. If you want to get in touch with the show, it's what is it again?
I nearly said my own email address there.
WrestleFriends podcast at yahoo.com.
Yeah, we're on. We've got Facebook, so you can contact me on there. Just the WrestleFriends and that.
I can't wait to go for a wee.
YouTube comments. You know,
Emails are welcome.
emails. Would love an emails. Yeah. Thanks very much, everybody.
And thanks to Fraser.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
would you like to do outro?
A leaving wrestle thought, a parting gift.
I'll do a little song there.
Go on then.
WrestleFriends, way, yeah. Ooh.
I felt like we needed to do that.
Yeah,
That was nice. Good night.